What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Chatting With. And today we're chatting with the real life fake wizard. Mr. Wizard. Is that what you want me to call you, Mr. Wizard? Am I calling you the real life fake wizard? You want to tell the whole story? Like, what are we doing here?
You could just call me wizard or fake wizard, or probably not fake, because that doesn't seem like a good word to like have as your name, but I do it.
That's actually the first thing I'm going to ask you. But before we get there, chat, hit that like button. We do these. I love doing these podcasts, and the real life fake wizard or wizard was gracious enough to say yes and come on to the show real quick yesterday, because I actually sent him a direct message on Twitter yesterday, and he got back to me like this, and that's what I love. People that are actually respond to things. So here we are. So I know you guys liked him when we watched and reacted to his stuff, and I said I would love to interview him. So here he is. We got an interview with the real life fake wizard. So welcome to the show.
Happy to be here.
I really do appreciate it. I really do. I found you about 2 months ago and started watching your stuff, and I was just like, I don't know why he's wearing a fake beard, but I'm interested. And you know what? It draws you in. So my first question to you is, why the hell did you pick a fake beard, and do you regret it? Like, does it get itchy? Like, what happens here? Like, so tell us, one, how you decided to become the real life fake wizard, and two, why the name for your channel?
This is it's really interesting here. So the long story is I started on TikTok in 2020 when the world shut down. I do marketing for a living. I have my own marketing firm, and TikTok was exploding. And myself, my business partner, we were like, hey, this TikTok thing is blowing up. We need to know how to do it so that we could sell it to clients. So we were like, well, let's both just make accounts and be content creators here and learn about it. And I did it as me. I did it just as me as a regular person with no kind of character behind it. And I got to 65,000 followers on TikTok at the time. I ended up shutting that all down and moving away from it, mostly because it wasn't fun anymore. And my topic of coverage was Dungeons and Dragons. So like, I'm really big on RPGs and TTRPGs. That's really, I have a real love for that, as well as gaming and entertainment as a whole. So there was a moment for me last year when Star Wars The Acolyte came out, and that was my final breaking point as a Star Wars fan. I am
They made you start a YouTube channel. Like, so this is like your villain story.
I
really.
am their Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Like, I am Frankenstein's monster. And people are like, oh, well, how could you make that your whole identity? It's like, no, somebody has to do it. And I feel compelled now that I have to talk about these things because nothing is getting better. So it's in the RPG space. It's in the Dungeons and Dragons space. Yeah. It's in the Star Wars space. It's in the Lord of the Rings. It's in every facet of entertainment. Things are getting worse. So I figured, you know what? I've done it as myself before. It's an uphill battle. But if I put myself wearing a wizard beard on a thumbnail, people are going to click on that because they're going to think it's ridiculous.
It is. And you know what?
It is.
you got me, because when I first saw it, when I first reacted, I was like, the real life fake wizard. I was like, all right, I'm sold. I'm sold. I was like, whatever, it's YouTube, right? So if other people can dress up as, different characters, why not? But I love the name, the real life fake wizard. So obviously you're a big fantasy guy. You're a big Dungeons and Dragons fan. Why the real life fake wizard? Is that something behind it? Were you a character in Dungeons and Dragons and that's what your character name was or something?
I wasn't even a wizard. I don't even play wizard in D&D. It was this idea of, I'm going to talk about real life stuff from time to time. And that was kind of the open door for me to hit on things. Like, there's a bunch of videos I have on there talking about like social attacks on men and social attacks on just people in general. Right. Those videos, some of them have exploded, which has been a blessing. But it gives me the opportunity to talk to people about some of the real life stuff. Like, we could be doing live streams and things, and people will say truly fascinating or terrifying things about their lives. And it's actually like kind of scary. Like, people talk about some serious things in their life. And like, I don't mind hitting on that. I have no problem talking about that with people. So I figured real life would be a part of what we talk about. That's real great. Life with a fake wizard.
Yeah. People are like, so Doc, can you tell me I lost my job? Wizard, tell me what I should do. They come to you and
Red on black.
Yeah.
Get yourself to a casino.
Yeah. What number? I would give them the exact number. I'm pretty. My chat knows that when I pick a number, it usually hits. What was the last time, chat, that happened? We were playing. What game was that? And I called the number out, and it happened on stream. I was like, "You can't plan this." I was like, "It was." I forget what it was. Oh God! But yeah, I'm like a psychic on my channel. We got emotes in the chat where I do the fortune telling and stuff like that. So, all right. So YouTube career, you started. You have your own business, and you're like, you know what?
Yep.
I want to dive into this YouTube stuff. This seems pretty interesting. So, what was it that, like, maybe you don't have the bug yet, right? Maybe you just like making videos because it's just happening. But was there a video that you did in the early on and you're like, oh yeah, this is where I want to be. Like, this is what I want to do.
No, and I don't totally have that. There is for me personally, I've said this in videos, and people get mad at me when I say this because it ruins the illusion. I don't really enjoy doing this, and I'm very I'm very passionate about telling people that I don't enjoy it. It's not fun. Scripting videos, producing, editing, it takes me about 8 hours per video.
Yeah, people don't understand how hard it is. Yeah.
And there is like, okay, well, that's time I could be spending on my business. That's time I could be spending with family. That's time I could be spending on playing the actual games that I'm talking about, right? So for me, it's I genuinely, and then having met and interacted with people all over the world who've joined my Discord server, or they're in my chat all the time, or they're following me on Twitter, and they're like, hey, what you're doing is really good. And it's like, you're encouraging. I understand what it is that you're doing. I feel a call to a mission more than I give a crap about the platform. And that's kind of fun. And I don't think we see enough of that. You know, most people get in this for the money. I don't make any money on this. I draw I'm in the red every month on this because we don't take any sponsorships, nothing.
Yeah, so I'm the same way, right? I do this because I love doing this, right? So I used to tell you a little bit about myself. I used to be in the film and television. I used to be a camera operator, okay? I started off, I used to be in front of the camera. I used to do modeling and acting and stuff like that. And then I got the bug, and I wanted to be behind the camera. So then I was in the union. I did it for almost 20 years, and I absolutely loved it, right? It was my favorite job. I still love to do that. But then this came up, and I had a kid. My kid's 10 now. And I've always been a stay-at-home dad, but I also live on a farm. So our family owns a farm. Right?
Oh, nice.
And I get to, raise my child, and we have a very nice, we're not rich by any means. I live in a shitty house that was built in 1947. We live we live below our means, but we live well for what we're doing, right? So I start doing this, and I'm like, I did a podcast, which I do tomorrow night with my brother, called Generation X Gaming, and we've been doing that for 10 years, right? My community is very passionate. I make money, but I'm not making like Asthma Gold money here. You know what I mean? Like I'm a couple $100 here and there, but
yeah,
I'm not doing this for the money. I'm doing this because I love talking to people. I love interviewing people. I love just this whole thing, just bullshitting and talking. That's what I like to do. People actually don't believe that. They think that I want to do it because I'm looking for a bigger thing. No, I'm doing it, and if it happens, it happens. But I'm not doing it because of that.
That's the best place to be.
Yeah,
I think people get in this, they do it for the money, or worse, the fame.
Yeah.
And that goes to their heads immediately. I've seen so many people fly into the sky and fizzle out on that fame.
Oh, yeah,
and
real quick.
They have it, and it's gone. And what?
No, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh no, I was gonna say it's if you enjoy it because it's fun, beautiful. If you're doing it because you feel better about ranting into the clouds, then that's okay too. But just don't do the YouTube thing for money or fame. It's not going to end well for you.
Yeah, my son, who's 10, he wants to be a YouTuber. I'm like, please don't. I was like, do something else. Everyone wants to be a YouTuber. All right. Let me tell you something. He's actually pretty good at it. But
well, that's good.
If he started a channel, he probably surpassed me within a week. I'll be honest with you. Okay. But yeah, everyone wants to be a YouTuber, but they don't understand what it is to be a YouTuber. They think they can just go live and be like, hey, what's going on, guys? Follow me. My life's so interesting. Like, I don't think my life's interesting. I live on a goddamn farm. Okay. So, so what would you say to people, right? Because you were saying like 8 hours for script writing.
Oh, yeah.
Were you a writer beforehand? Did you like writing beforehand?
It's funny. I always, even through all my years of in the marketing industry and working in corporate, I never wanted to touch YouTube because I never wanted to script videos because I don't like it.
Right.
I don't like it. It takes a lot out of me to do that because was I a writer? Not as far as like complete pen to paper. I write stories and things, but it's usually just bullet points that I'm going through. Typically for things like Dungeons and Dragons and role-playing games, I do a lot of writing for. I've designed games before in the past, mostly just apps. But no, as far as like writing is concerned, at the level that I'm doing it now, I was not doing this. And the way that I describe it, or the way that my creative approach to writing videos is, firstly, I have to start off by introducing myself, which I've done really throughout all of my videos. But I specifically introduce myself now in the cadence that I do to keep myself from ranting. So that's the first thing. I try to come at every video as if it's a business presentation. In the past, I've done rant videos. People don't really resonate with those as much because you're just being passionate. I don't say rage. I don't like to use the word rage because I care a lot about this stuff. There's rage baiting is a whole kind of condescension on YouTube. But after I established a baseline, there's an Aaron Sorkin discussion. Do you know who Aaron Sorkin is?
I do.
Probably. Yeah. You worked in television. You've got to know who Aaron Sorkin. What am I talking about? He had this discussion at one point and about how he treats dialogue. And he treats dialogue as if it's music. And there's a philosophy that he has there that the way that people speak, the way that people connect with each other, even just through regular conversation, there is a cadence of music that you can kind of hear. And then I treat every single video in that kind of framework. So I start off with a business baseline, and then I go into playing ideas off of each other, which means that like if I'm going to say something here, it's got to flow in from the point that came previously. I have to be able to connect everything. I also need to hear what my opposition might say or what my detractors might say, which is why in all my videos, there's a cutaway in almost all of them where I go gray screen and I go, well, Wizard, what about this? And it's usually something that I can hear the comments before I post the video. That's kind of my creative approach. And no, I wasn't a writer beforehand. I had to learn how to do it all.
So do you think you're more qualified than the people writing movies now for Marvel?
Easily. Have you heard of Ironheart, which came out today?
Oh yeah, I've seen some things already. I was like, Jesus Christ. I used to do it. Yeah, I had another channel I do. It's called Nerding with 30, where I talk about comics and movies and stuff like that. And we used to do a review of all the shows on Disney Plus, like from WandaVision back when it came out. We got to Miss Marvel. And I was like, I can't do it anymore. No. I was like, I'm done. Every single time an episode aired, we would look at the writers and I was like, who is this writer? They did like nothing. They did like short stories or something. And they get like the big break. I'm like, you don't get your big break on a multi-billion-dollar franchise. You get your big break making a commercial for like, Quiznos or something. You know what I mean? Like it's absolutely mind-blowing to me the amount of people that are, and look, nepotism's a thing, okay? Always been a thing in every business. In Hollywood's a big thing. But now nepotism's kind of weird because it's not even about like that's my dad or my mom working there. It's like what your political views are, and then that's why you got the job. You know what I mean? It's so strange.
Or worse, you come work for us now and we'll own you. We will train you. So that's something we see with a lot of what Disney has done, and good Lord, I mean, they're still doing it to this day. It's you come in, you're fresh out of university or fresh off of whatever. We're going to train you on how to write. You're going to do what we say. So there is no writers anymore.
Who would turn that down?
Really
you know what I mean? Who would turn that down?
Right. Yeah. Oh, you mean I get to put my name on a Marvel property and that'll springboard me ahead into working on other things or maybe getting the funding for a project I actually am passionate about because all of this is slop now. So who cares?
Yeah, it's so bad, right? Before, if you were younger and you got onto Marvel or like a Star Wars, you'd be like, oh my God, I'm on Star Wars. Now you're like, I don't want to put that on my resume. They're like, yeah, I worked on Boba. No, don't put that on your resume. I worked on a bunch of stuff, right, where you would have a different name. You wouldn't put your name on that credit
Stage
because you just got it for the money. It paid really well, but you're like, yeah, it's a piece of shit. I don't want to put my name on that, right? That's always been a thing. But these people are like, yeah, I worked on Marvel. And I'm like, you don't want to do that. Put your stage name there, would you?
Yeah, there's a bunch of people now that when I see their names, I will not participate in what they 100%. Make. I will not watch it. I'm not interested because that was the best you had was Shang-Chi. The best you had was Loki. The best you had was WandaVision. What? WandaVision was, I still think WandaVision's the worst. Well, I haven't watched Ironheart yet. WandaVision's the worst show on Disney Plus.
Oh, I don't know, man.
Specifically for Marvel. It's bad.
Did you see? Well, okay, for Marvel. I was like, did you see Boba Fett? Did you see? Yeah.
Acolyte's
for Marvel,
worse than Boba Fett.
I don't know. Winter Soldier was pretty bad. I think Miss Marvel was
okay
actually
until the final episode.
Yeah,
Miss Marvel's actually until the last episode.
Miss Marvel's actually pretty bad show, but she was a really good actress in the show. Like I felt like if that show was pitched as a like a sitcom on like a Friday night, it would be like awesome, right? It would be that Family Matters type of show type of thing. But they made her have superpowers and then put it on Disney Plus, and it was just awful. It was just awful.
I didn't watch it. I stopped. I think the last show I watched was Hawkeye, and I didn't even watch the whole thing.
I watched Hawkeye too, and that was bad. Yeah,
it was very bad.
Yeah, it was. I was just beaten to death. I was just like, I'm not reviewing these anymore. So I stopped. I just stopped reviewing them because they were just awful. I'm starting to get a little bit back into the movie. Where before I had a kid. Well, I still have a kid, but before he was too young to take to the movies. You know what I mean? And now he's old enough where he can go to the movies with us to see certain movies. So
which is fun.
Yeah. I've been enjoying going to the movies again because I really like. I'm a guy that wants to go to the theater. I don't want theaters to close down. I hate that where the industry is today, where people go and they're like, I don't want to go there because I want to be home watching on my 65-inch, 75-inch, or whatever. But theaters to me, like, where's all these kids gonna get their first hand jobs from? You know what I mean? Like, you need to go to these theaters.
Well, that's actually kind of funny because of the point I was going to make, but I feel bad for your kids. I do, because the movies that you're taking them to are not anything like what we got to see when we were growing up. They're not, there's no comparison in quality. The movies that are being put in theaters now are they're soulless, they're empty, they're rushed, they're cash grabs. There's nothing there worth remembering. And frankly, I don't think there's anything there worth actually going to the movies for. And this is me. When I was in high school, I went to the movies every weekend because there was a movie theater right next to my high school.
Yeah, we used to, me and my wife, I mean, we would go 3-4 times a week. Sometimes we'd do 3 shows in a day. We would go there all day and just watch all the film. Now we're like, do you want to see something? You're like, I don't know. That's not really worth it, right? To see that on the screen. We'll just wait for that to come on the streaming service and stuff. They've diminished what the movies used to be, and it's sad. Yeah. It's sad to me, right? What's the last movie you saw in theaters?
It's really funny because I blanked out on this on stream a couple days ago where I was talking about it. I'm like, wait, and then there was that movie, and oh my gosh, I don't remember.
It was
the
so
last
good.
Movie
I can't remember it. Yeah,
because it was so forgettable, and it turned out to be Ballerina.
Oh,
and it
that bad?
Not bad.
It's just
pointless.
It's just
not
John Wick.
There.
Yeah.
It's not only is it not John Wick, but they have the characters from John Wick are in it, and you're just like, this doesn't. Of course,
you have to prop up.
Real.
You have to prop up the other character. Hey, these people over here. Yeah.
Can't stand on her own, and it wasn't the same. It wasn't very good. I wouldn't spend any money on it. I would just wait to catch it on Netflix or something, or Paramount Plus, whoever owns John Wick.
It's
just not worth the trip. But I think that's all the movies now, frankly.
We went to go see How to Train Your Dragon, the live action one, and I have to say I was really impressed that it was almost a 1-to-1 shot of the actual animated film, right? And there was a couple of moments. Did you see it? Did you watch it in the theater?
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
I haven't. I've been traveling.
They do a really good job with it. The main character, I'm blanking on her name.
Astrid?
Astrid, thank you. She does a really good job. She's also not the best part of the movie. Best part of the movie, I think, the guy who plays Hiccup. and also Toothless, the dragon that they've created on the screen. Like, you're like, holy Christ, that looks really good. It's like they picked it out of the cartoon and put it into 1-to-1. It's really good job. Gerard Butler does a really good job as Stoic, even though he was the voice. Now he gets to play the character, and they gave a little bit of extra time for some people on film. Overall, there's a couple of moments they justify it, and I'm okay with it. Like in the movie, all the Vikings are in the thing, and they show an Asian Viking. They show a black Viking. They show a woman that's questionable Viking, right, type of thing. And he says, and this is not in the cartoon, he says, well, all of you came from all your other nations and came here to live with us. You know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, I'm okay with that, because they wrote that in there and they gave us that little thing. I'm like, fine, right? There's that, and then the twins in the cartoon are both like thin as rails, okay? But in this, they made one person, thin, and the other person's round, okay? So one fat, one skinny, and the girl's fat, and you're like, that doesn't fit. And they're supposed to be identical, but they're not identical. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't know if that's part of the joke, but they're doing. But that didn't ruin it. It didn't ruin it. It was like, okay, cool. You kind of just glance over these little differences. Like Astrid didn't have blonde hair; she had dark hair in the show. But as far as the acting goes, everything was good. It reminded me, if I was in my 20s again, that I would go see this movie 2-3 times in the theater because it's that good, right? But obviously, I have a kid, and I'm not going 2-3 times. That's fucking expensive.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But I actually liked it. I actually liked it.
I want to get around to seeing it. I'm also taking I'm taking my parents and family to Epic Universe at the end of the summer. So I want to watch all the movies and get ready for that. Just because it's the Universal, they just put the park out, which is exactly why they put the movie out now to connect with the park, which is pretty interesting. But I guess my expectations are so low, and I've heard that there are a handful of like a couple of like very specific one-liners where it's like, why'd you do that? You didn't need to say that. You said something stupid there, or you changed something very
for the
tiny,
modern audience. Yeah, it's for the modern audience.
You did that for a reason, and I can't take you seriously because it was subtle. And but I haven't seen the film to say that for specifically myself yet.
Yeah, it's very minor when it does happen, and you'll notice it because of all the stuff that's happening. But most people it'll be like a speed bump at 90 miles an hour. You just like fly over.
I hate it so much.
Yeah,
they can't just make it. See, it's like what you said. If they addressed everybody being, it's multiculturalism, then okay, fine. Then, and they address that and it's part of the story, I'm cool with it. That's great. You've played it off as part of the story. You've made it work.
Yeah, all the dragons destroyed their land, so they all came together so they could join forces to go. Yeah, that works. Yeah, that's a
good answer to a very real problem. But if there's other things, it's I guess maybe, did you see Nosferatu?
No. Okay,
so even in Nosferatu, there is it's like that Leonardo DiCaprio meme where he's whistling at the television, but like you catch it. There it is. Yeah. I caught it. Of anti-men. There's a lot of anti-men in movies now, and that's what I've heard about How to Train Your Dragon. But I don't know if that's actually in it.
It's 100%. If you have a son and you watch this film, even the animated movie, it's a good father-son film.
Oh, the animated, absolutely.
Yeah. They don't stray far from that. That's what it is. See, the problem is How to Train Your Dragon came out before this whole like woke girl boss stuff, right?
Yep.
Astrid was a girl boss before. Like, she's a tough person in the film, so she's just playing that character. That character's not different, right? But she looks different, so people start thinking, well, because she's not blonde hair, they kind of wedged her in there, right? I mean, she's like a Milano actress, right? She's a British actress, I believe, but she's half white, half black, but she's pale skin. And she has dark hair, so they didn't make it blonde hair. So everyone's like, "Oh, they made her a badass." No, Astrid's a badass in the cartoon already.
Yeah, she's the strongest of the whole.
Yeah, they didn't change any of that, so it doesn't come across as they try to do anything different. But if you didn't my dad and mom never saw the animated stuff, so they saw this for the first time. It was funny. They were like, "Oh my god!" They were like really invested in the film. They're like, "Wow, that's great!" And I was like, "Oh, you didn't see the animated?" They're like, "There's an animated thing of this," and I was like, "Yeah," but they have
that's
no
what
idea.
they're cashing in on, though.
Yeah,
That's what they're cashing in on, is the people that didn't see it, but now because it's live action, it appeals to way more people.
I'm actually excited that they're already, I think, making. I don't know if they've officially said it yet, but they said they're going to make the second and third one in live action. I'm like,
the second one's
in
pre-production now.
It is? Okay.
Yeah, they're moving forward. Even before this came out, they were like, yeah, we know this is going to make money, so they greenlit the second and third.
I kind of wish this is the staple of, if you're going to make an animated thing into live action, then do it exactly how they did this for that movie, because it was a 1-to-1.
You don't want more Snow Whites or Lilo and Stitches?
The Lilo and Stitch, see, I haven't seen it, but they say they changed the story. They changed it where she doesn't go. I don't want to say it because I don't want to spoil it for people if people they want to go watch it. But they changed the story. So
they did change the story. It doesn't hold a candle to the 2002 film.
That's sad.
Yeah, and what's crazy about that is Lilo and Stitch was an easy win. That was an easy win for Disney. The reason it was an easy win is it's easily believable because it's set in the real world. It's set in the real world plus aliens. Like, you don't have to do the whimsy and fantasy and dresses and princesses and everybody dancing and singing. You didn't need that. You could have brought in every demographic to see this film, and you could have made $1 billion. And they still might make $1 billion, but now
I don't think they will.
Changed. I don't think they will now. Yeah. They could have, though. If it was a true, like how they did How to Train Your Dragon, if they did that with Lilo and Stitch, I would have seen it twice.
Oh, 100%. It would have broke $1 billion easily. It's just so many movies are coming out, and they're just not getting the replay value. So I used to work in the theater industry before, and movies used to stay in the theaters, and the longer they stayed in the theaters, the more revenue the theater got, and less the actual studio got, right? So in the long run, the longer it stayed in theaters, the theater would want to be in there long, but now they out the door as fast as possible. And Disney has contracts with a lot of theater companies where they take the biggest auditoriums in their spot, and it stays there as long as they can until their next Disney picture comes out, and they slide that into that one. So they actually hurt other studios and other movies that come into theaters because they have a exclusive, if you want our movies, you're going to have to put us in the biggest theater. You're going to have to put us on the weekends. You're going to have to put us on the IMAX theater. You know what I mean? So they're basically bullies of the industry. So when they have a Snow White and it bombs, it hurts everybody, because Sonic actually got hurt by this because Sonic wasn't never in the bigger theaters. So it would have made a shit ton more money, but it couldn't because it was in the smaller theaters. It still did very well.
Mufasa was out then.
Yes. Right. So they're constantly just siphoning money, if it was shitty or not, because Disney, if no one's watching the movie in the big theater, where are they watching it? They have to go to the small theater to watch the other one, and that movie's not making as much money.
It's a mess. How, and it used to be fine. It was like, hey, you want this Disney movie? People are going to come to the Disney movie, and now it's like they're not.
They're holding it for ransom. Yeah, they're not coming.
And people are done. People don't care anymore. It is too much of an ask now with how many things that are available now, because both of us, we like the theaters. I don't want the theaters to go away, but at the same time, you take your family, you're looking at what, 60, 70, maybe $100 if you got the popcorn too.
Yep.
If you go for all the snacks and stuff, you're looking at $100 day. But there is no guarantee that this is going to be a good experience for you and your kids. Your kids might be bored. They might hate it. So what's the guarantee of getting a good experience?
Right.
There isn't one anymore. And it's hitting everybody where it hurts, and it's hitting them in the wallets. And you got to drive 30 minutes to a local theater throughout most of the country. I don't know. I miss having a close movie theater. Where I live now, it's 30 minutes away. But it's like, people don't want this anymore. And they are justified in not wanting it anymore. The products being made are just not good enough.
Yeah, we actually have a conversation all the time, right? For video games and also for movies. People are like, "Oh yeah, I gotta get that game," and I'm like, "Just wait 1 day, wait 1 week, let them earn your money, not because they made they made a sequel, and all of a sudden you're, I gotta get it." You made a video, and I think it was talking about the Switch, right? Mm-hmm. And you said, I forget the word you used, but you said that the people, they couldn't help themselves, they had to buy the Switch. And I was like, what do you mean had to? Like I have to drink this to stay alive, right? I don't have to play Switch 2 to stay alive.
I was blown away. There was the one video I did, like 20 reasons to not buy a Nintendo Switch 2, and I got around 5,000 comments on it.
Holy shit.
Well, what happened was it blew up a little bit, and then people that hated me threw it all over Reddit. So it just attracted the hate mob. And that seems to keep happening when I talk about Nintendo. The hate mob comes in, and then YouTube says, this video's popping off. Let's show it to everybody. And then those videos explode. But it was concerning. Genuinely concerning how many people commented saying, I'm going to buy it anyway. I agree with everything you're saying. I can't stop myself.
Yeah, it's like a zombie, like a moth to the flame.
What? What do you mean you can't stop yourself? I made 20 rational points. There's over an hour of don't buy Nintendo footage on my channel right now of like genuinely interesting reasons why you shouldn't support this company. And your response is, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I agree with everything you're saying, but I'm going to buy it anyway.
What are you talking about? So that's kind of been a big focal point in my videos. It's like we need to, and this came up on a stream I was on. And I'm really glad we had this conversation. It was me and I was on the Hypnotic Saturday Night Hypnosis, and Smash JT said something asking me, will you buy a Switch 2? I said, well, I would love to. I like Nintendo games.
Right.
I wish I could buy it right now. I would love to go get it. They have them in the stores where I live. Like, no
that's
problem.
impossible. They told me it was selling out like hotcakes. They can't keep them on the shelf.
It's seeing corporate marketing practices in play like that, where they say, "Oh, everything is sold out," and then it's like, "No, it's in all the stores.
Yeah,
you can get it right now. It's been out for weeks, and you can still get it." It's like that makes me sick, because there was Access Media journalists covering it, like, "Oh my gosh, you gotta get it now!" And it's like, no, everybody's going to be able to get it, no problem. There's no rush.
They have a stockpile at every place I've been.
Walmart, Target, GameStop. I'm in New York City right now. They still got them here. They're here. Like this,
that's impossible.
My brother went up to Nintendo World in Manhattan a couple days ago. They're there. You can get it. So, but anyway, so that conversation was, and I kind of came to this epiphany on this show, having this discussion. It was, we need to start talking about the line. And so then this is going to be something I say in like all of my videos now. It's like, for me, the line is very small, because I don't tolerate any crap from these corporations anymore. I'm done. I put on a wizard beard and make YouTubes now as part of my weekly routine. Like, I'm done. My line is
so
crossed.
Really, this is just therapy for you, is what this is.
I wouldn't take it that far, because I don't enjoy the process. But
you got to get it out.
It's not a stress relieving.
Yeah.
It's well, yeah. In some part, probably. In some weird world, it could be considered therapy. But moreover, it's like we need to start having that conversation with people of, what is your line?
Yeah, absolutely.
At what point will they go too far where you finally have to be involved? And when you finally have to say, I'm not buying anymore. They've lost my business. They can earn it back, but they have lost me now. And I think that's a better position to take than boycott. I say this in all my videos. I'm like, I will never support a boycott movement. I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to endorse it. I don't want hashtags. You know why? Every time there's a boycott, one of two things will likely happen. Firstly, you get bad faith actors that jump in to suck up all that power, which is dangerous beyond belief. Yep. It is dangerous to that movement as a whole when and they come out the woodwork and they suck up all that power, and they grift on it. They actually grift on
an actual grift.
People that actually care. It's an actual grift. That's part one. Part two, I've worked in corporate America long enough to know they love that shit. They love boycotts, because they're firstly going to hear everything you're saying, learn how to pivot around you, and then still try to pivot on top of that. And all it takes is a couple of people, like what I would say sleeper cells from the corporations, to come out, or paying off a handful of content creators who may have voiced their opinion on the movement before, to say, hey guys, they put out a statement. They're going to change one thing.
Yeah.
We won.
Yeah. Isn't that great? Over. Yeah. I hate that shit.
And then everybody goes out and buys it. It's like, no. My biggest push is individualism. You have to individually choose to stop buying, not because somebody else told you to, not because there's some hashtag that you're following on Twitter. It's like, no, what's your line of when these corporations go too far? And we need more people talking like that.
When I say we, I mean me and my brother, Sarge, on the podcast. We've been saying this for a decade, longer than that, but a decade on the actual podcast. Like, we are tired of all this corporate shit where they pretend they're listening. They do this. It's all part of, and obviously you're in the marketing world. I was on the opposite side of the marketing world where we filmed the marketing stuff. I've seen it all, dude. I see all the stuff. Did you see the Sony conference they had where he came out and started reading a teleprompter really bad, mind you, okay, with these questions from the audience and how they, like, it was an investors thing, right? But it was just damage control because of Marathon and everything else that was coming, or I should say not coming out now. And I hate that stuff because they're like, oh yeah, they're listening. Same thing with Splitgate. You know what Splitgate, the
oh yeah, that was
the arena shooter, right? He comes out on stage with the first person shooter hat, make FPS great again. Thinks he, it's a joke. It's just a joke, but people can't take jokes now in 2025, right? So they go out on him and he apologizes for the hat. Then he apologized. He should never apologize. You never apologize. Okay.
Never apologize.
Then he comes out and says, oh, I didn't know about the $140 microtransactions, and we're going to cut those in half. He says half, and then they only cut it 45%, but that's a whole nother story, right? So it goes from $140 to $80 for a microtransaction, $32 for a portal. It's like, we want to be better than Call of Duty. We're better than Call of Duty, and then all of a sudden they have Call of Duty type pricing in the microtransaction department, and everyone's defense, because they have this base defense of fans, because they were Splitgate 1 fans that are like, well, it's a free-to-play game. It's like, yeah.
There is, even in my own business practice, and this is something I would have recommended this to the Splitgate guys, you need to have somebody that runs the company that can address things as maybe not the face of the company, but from a CEO perspective.
Right.
And then you need to have the hype guy that hypes up the people inside the company. Okay. You need to have, it's two roles. Sometimes there's a CEO, but you can have two chairs with two different titles, but it's still like one of them needs to be a CEO. And with that guy, I don't know enough about Splitgate. I've never played it. Just based on my perception about watching that situation, having seen the panel as he came out in real time wearing that hat, and I don't care if you're where you are politically. That point doesn't matter. It was a stupid move from a marketing perspective. It was only going to attract buzz and not.
But he said this out loud though. He said the reason he wore the hat is because you have to make a moment, because there's so many games, there's so many things you have to make where people will remember something. That's why he wore the hat.
Then you need to hire some new marketers, my dude, because they are not doing the right job.
I don't think he had marketers. I think he's doing everything by him and his partner. I think do everything. Yeah,
that's just it. There should be somebody in my own business. I'm as you can kind of tell by the outfit, I'm typically like the creative one, but my business partner is much more the analytical, business-minded guy. And so together, it's a yin and yang, oil and water, but we jive together amazingly when it comes to running our business. Because I'm going to see things on the creative angle. He's going to see everything analytic. It's Roy Disney and Walt Disney. Every business needs that.
Yep.
Every business needs a Walt and Roy. 100%. You should not do things on your own.
We were just talking about this the other day. I said because all these layoffs happen in the video game industry, right? And every time something happens, they're like, "Oh, well, this game's closing down," and I'm like, "Who could have seen that coming?" Right? They have no upper management. The upper management is horrendous in most of these companies, right? They don't know what they're doing, and the creative people, which are the devs, they're making the game, but they'll constantly keep making that game until the upper management says, "Hey, calm down. We have to finish this. This is a deadline." And if they don't have that, then they're just going to keep doing stuff, or they get, squirrel, and they start working on something else or adding something else. They're going to constantly keep adding stuff to the game, and it'll never be complete. It'll never be done because the creative people just want to create. Where the upper management, the Roy to Walt type of thing, is they have to keep them on task, what they're doing. Do you watch Laura Fryer on YouTube? Have you seen her videos? Or you know who Laura Fryer is?
Unfortunately, I don't know who most YouTube people are.
Laura Fryer is an ex-developer. She worked for Microsoft and she worked for a bunch of and she has her own YouTube channel now. And she talks about like her perspective of the industry that she was in for 30 years, right? And she nails it every single time. She's like, these guys didn't have upper management. These person didn't know what they were doing. And I'm like, it's so nice to hear an actual developer talk about the inner workings of a business when you're not, when everyone stays quiet and they always stay like, oh, corporate America is bad because they're firing us. But it's like, yeah, but the upper management's terrible. Bungie's got upper management problems. BioWare's got upper management problems. Avowed had upper management problems, right? Like Bethesda has upper management. Like all of these companies have the exact same problem. They have people that don't know what they're doing in the positions they are, and they don't know how to wrangle the drones, the devs of doing these jobs and putting timelines on stuff, and they go over budget. They're making $350 million video games, and then they can't sell them. And then they're like, well, we have to let 20,000 people go. Whoopsie. It's ridiculous.
Good luck.
Yeah. And I'm not supposed to I'm not going to feel sorry for them, right? I'm just a consumer. Just make a game, sell a game. That's my number one rule on this channel. Make a game, sell a game. I don't give a shit all the drama behind it or anything like that. You put all your blood, sweat, and tears in it, and then if I like it, I'll choose to purchase it.
I've been saying since early on my channel, like I believe there's 5 people ruining the entertainment industry, and that carries into gaming too. So you've got journalists,
yep,
marketers, the professional marketers that don't know who they're marketing to, content creators.
Shit, that's me.
Yeah, well, they're a big part of the problem. Writers and management. Those are the big 5. They are destroying. I don't even call out the devs because I think it's usually out of their hands. By the time it gets into them to actually make the game, either the writers, marketers, upper management, they have way more control over what games are being made now than devs do. Than the actual, like it's the writers. I blame the writers don't know what the hell they're doing. The marketers have no idea who they're marketing to. They don't understand what the actual buying population is of the world anymore. And upper management doesn't even know they're selling video games.
Yep.
All they see is the numbers.
Yep. This number goes up, and it always has to go like this. Not like this. It's got to do this.
Better go up.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't go up, then everybody loses their jobs. Or even if it does go up, people are going to lose their jobs.
Well,
so
we know that. They can make $1 billion and they still fire off 3,000 people.
It's it's scary, and it's the kind of thing, and it's made me bitter. It's made me extraordinarily bitter. The more I've done this channel, like the more I've done the YouTube thing, it's made me bitter to actual high-level business. I don't want Star Wars to get better. I don't want Microsoft to get... You
want to see it burn. You want to see it go down the drain.
Done. I want it to bomb. I want it to bomb with prejudice. I say cancel Disney Plus at the end of every video.
I love that. I love that you say that every time. That and for God's sakes, cancel Disney Plus. Yeah, I love.
Well, there's lore there. Disney Plus. If you look at Disney as a company, they've sunk the most money into Disney Plus. They've gambled it all on Disney Plus being successful, which is why everything that this company does now is to make up for the fact that Disney Plus is bleeding. The content doesn't make money. Disney Plus doesn't make money. They're hemorrhaging money. And every time that they report a loss in users, their stock price drops because people sell off.
Yeah. If it wasn't for the theme parks, they would be in big trouble.
But the theme parks are hurting too. It's just they have enough capital to hide that away. They can still explain that away.
Yeah.
But we look at something like, if enough people, I've never seen it before where something as big as Disney is actually vulnerable to the buying public, to like you and me, chat, like all of us. If we told everybody to cancel Disney Plus and that happened, Disney would fold.
Yeah.
So
they would sell that. They would drop that. Yeah. They would put all their money back into the theme parks and stuff. Yeah. They would sell off IPs for sure.
It would be too late because there's estimates of $14 billion gone into Disney Plus, if not more. Like there's 14 billion traceable. There are estimates from some of my other friends out here that do content where they can say it's up to 100 billion. It's like you can't explain that away.
No,
you're dealing with billions of dollars of investments that are bombing.
Yep.
And the buying population could end it all. Like Disney would fold. And if Disney folds, because enough people fought back. Netflix is going to get hit. Paramount's going to get hit. Microsoft's going to get hit. PlayStation's going to get hit. Everything in entertainment will get hit if Disney gets hit. Yep. Fortnite will get hit. Everything burns. So it's kind of a joke for me to say cancel Disney Plus, but it's not really, because it's the first time we see true vulnerability.
Yeah, we say it all the time on this channel. We say just don't buy the product when it comes out. Let them sweat. Let them sweat. And going back to what you said about the devs, yeah, I never really blame the devs when it comes to video games being bad. It's always, in some way, shape, or form, has to do with the suits, upper management in some way, shape, or form, because they either push it out the door too early, right, or they rush them to do something, and then when they come out and they're like, we'll do bare minimum viable product, and then we'll fix it over the next 18 months or whatever. And obviously, you're going to hate the devs because they're the ones making the game, but really the upper management and the suits tell them, hey, drone, you need to get this out the door by this time frame, and if you don't, you're going to lose your job. Oh, and by the way, if you do make it, you're also going to lose their job. So they don't know what to do anymore.
It's and we keep seeing right now where devs are breaking away from the mega corporations, and they're going out and starting their own things, and it's incredible. I mean, Expedition 33, that was all Ubisoft people. Or a handful of Ubisoft people.
Handful. And, they were just tired of Ubisoft, yeah.
And we see this vampire game coming up, which was they worked on The Witcher.
Dawn Walker, yeah.
Dawn Walker, yeah, and they're CD Projekt Red people that are like, hey, we're just going to go do our own thing. And it's like, so it's not the devs. Yeah. It's everybody else. Devs are a part of the problem, maybe in some capacity, but I don't think so, because they're still the ones that are able to make really good stuff.
Well, Embark, the people that they were Battlefield developers, and they left to go start Embark, which are now doing the finals, and they also are doing Arc Raiders. They started their own studio, and they're making those two games. The finals is doing really well, and now Arc Raiders is coming out in October. And these are guys that were passionate about doing. They didn't want to work for EA anymore. They said, I'm out. You know, a lot of these studios, guys, they want to leave and they want to be creative. They want to work, and they know what their budgets are, and they know what they can do Again, Expedition 33 is a perfect example. That game is less than $80 million, and it went on to sell oodles and oodles, and it was on Game Pass. So that's where it needs to be, and it's not an $80 game. It's not a $70 game. It's not a $60 game, right? All of these people telling you, well, no, they got to keep the lights on. They got to keep the lights on. They need those $80. Shut up. Like, they don't need $80 video games. You're not even getting the thing on the disc anymore. It's all digital. No packaging, no transfer. They don't have to ship it anywhere. There's no gas involved. It's just beam it from the cloud. There it is.
Expedition 33 is a gift that will continue to give for a few years because of how good it is. And if it wins the Game Awards, like, beautiful, but people know this game was incredible. It was done by a very small team. They hired people on Fiverr to handle doing side jobs to make it all work and come together. And it was $50 on release. Yep.
Because that's what games should be. That's what games should be.
Yeah.
There's so many. Power World was what, $30. Helldivers, $40. You got Expedition, which is $50. There's a couple other ones that just came out that are really popular, and they're all $50. Even the Oblivion remaster, for God's sakes, right? People love that game, and it was $50. It's you don't need to make these full price games. And now what? Borderlands is $150. And you don't even get the goddamn game. $150.
It's $150 for toys.
Yep, for toys.
And then, but they're also selling, it's $70 for. But there you go. I mean, that's the last video I put out was Borderlands 4 is a grift. It's an actual grift because they're telling you one thing, but it's kind of based on a lie. Yeah. They hyped it up of, oh, well, we don't have any control if it's going to be $80. And then they come out, we're so excited. It's only $70. It's only $70. But then you have two more editions that are 25% and 35% more expensive than the predecessor in Borderlands 3.
Yeah.
For DLC content.
Well, they also, I mean, you're in marketing, they'll put it up first and be like, oh, it could be 80. And then when they go back to the 70, they're like, see, it's not 80. And they're like, oh,
we did you a favor.
Yeah, exactly. You did us a favor. So get that goodwill back. And they're like, oh, well, see, they didn't do that to us. So I'm going to pay $70 for it. But meanwhile, if you just wait 5 months, you'll pay $40 for it.
You wait till Black Friday. You know, you can wait till November. Wait for the holidays. They're dropping the game in September. By Christmas, it's going to be on sale.
Right.
Which is wild. But I mean, it's a Borderlands game. You can get them for $5 most day. Steam sale doesn't mean nothing for Borderlands. You get those on sale all the time.
Yep. But you have to have it. We have to have it now, Wizard. We got to have it now. I can't help myself. I need to get Borderlands 4.
You know,
I'm going to sell my kid. I'm going to sell my kid and at least get two collector's editions at least, right?
I'll take 6 copies. You know, there's a very bad conversation. I really haven't hit on it yet in my own videos, and I've been trying to figure out the right way to like make a full video on it. But after the comments I've been getting, now I feel compelled that eventually I will have to. But there is an actual addiction problem and an escapism problem with gaming now. I mean, not even now. There always have been. There always has been. You know, there is a level of where the escapism is no longer a healthy thing. Okay, where it starts to bleed into your real life. And having started this YouTube thing, I used to think like, not for me, not my problem. I'll spend 700 hours playing Pokemon, but it don't matter.
Right.
And then seeing these people actually say, I can't stop myself. Time and time again, for not just Nintendo, but for Xbox stuff, but for Borderlands? You can't stop yourself on Borderlands? It's the same thing since 2009. You know, Borderlands 1, virtually, they've been pretty similar. You kind of know what you're getting. But I need to have it on day one, even in my most recent video. And I just think there is a problem here. We are addicted to video games. We are addicted to escapism, and we're losing not even just our identity. We're losing our integrity. We're losing that little bit of individuality that's left. And I don't know if it's just a Western problem. I don't know if it's a global problem. I haven't done nearly enough. I'm just talking through the idea right now. I haven't even said this on my own channel yet, but it is staggering.
Well,
like I got death threats over Nintendo.
That you're gonna get those regardless if you talk about.
Oh no,
yeah,
I don't
that's
care.
That's a normal cadence on YouTube.
Send them my way. It's fun. I'll put you on blast. Like it doesn't hurt me at all. But the fact that someone is in that mindset of saying,
well, because you're trying to take their enjoyment away from them. That's what they look at. They don't look at it as the fact that Wizard is saying stuff and he's trying to help me. Maybe think about it and have this little critical thinking of maybe he's right. Maybe I should just wait, right? Because we say it all the time. Like, I don't want to tell people how to spend their money. If you want to go buy a $5,000 statue, by all means, like, go for it, right? That's your money. You earned it. You can spend it how you want. The way I try to say is, you going out and paying $5 gas, okay? Do you think that gas station is going to lower his price if people are buying $5 gas? No, they're not. He's going to keep seeing how high he can go and keep getting more people to pay for more expensive gas. But if you don't buy that gas right away, he's going to drop that gas price because he needs people because he's not making money anymore, right? So you could spend your money. You could be smart with your money and you can be stupid with your money. And I'm not here to tell you how to do it. I'm just trying to show you a way where, hey, look, don't ruin it for everybody because you're going out to pay for $5 gas, right? Because you need to go to work or you need to do stuff. Like, just wait a day and it'll get better. Like, don't buy $80 games. Don't buy $100 games. Don't buy $150 games. Like, just wait. Go play other games that you own or cheaper games that are brand new that are $40, $50 that when you look at this and people will look at that and go, well, Expedition sold well. Helldivers sold well. All of these games sold well. These upper companies will be like, well, wait a minute. We're not selling that many $80 games. We're not selling that many games. They're going to be like, well, we should probably discount those. We should probably put them on a discount. But people are like that. I need it now. I need it now. Instead of just waiting and getting more for your money. I have 5 PlayStation games for PlayStation 4. Okay. I bought 5 of them for $35. $35. Okay. I got God of War, Last of Us, MLB The Show. I have a whole bunch of stuff that I didn't get them day one. I waited. And I got 5 games for the same price for half the price of a full price game. How is that stupid? That's not stupid. That's smart business.
I picked up Dragon's Dogma 2. I waited until it was on sale before I picked it up because I just waited that long. And I can name that for just about any game now. Is I just wait for it to go on sale, unless I'm going to do content around it, unless I'm going to stream a game.
Sure.
Like
that's different. Yeah,
that's a little different. And I actually want to put a caveat on there because a lot of people hate on that. Not really just me, because I'm the most professional streamer. You know, I actually like content creators that stream the games and stream things with like critical thinking behind it, because content creators really are the first line of defense for saving you money now, because you're going to see the access media journalists are not telling you the truth about a game. It's
correct.
Like the IGN ratings mean nothing. They don't mean anything. The fact that people still take it as credibility is beyond me. It's like, no, you can watch 2, 3, 4, 5 hours of somebody actually playing the game, and you'll figure out pretty quickly, do I want to buy this myself? Do I want to experience this on my own? So I like that as for the streamers. But as far as buying the $80 games, as you just said, I've been saying this for what feels like months now. It's all about the games. The tariffs open the floodgates. The American tariffs allowed these corporations to open the floodgates on something that they've wanted to do for a long, long time. They don't care about the console prices going up.
No.
That's a smokescreen.
Yeah, 100%.
That's a smokescreen. Oh, well, the Xbox prices are going up, or, oh, we may have to increase the price of the Switch 2 with the tariffs. It's like, no. Pay closer attention. They don't really make a lot of money on the consoles themselves.
Correct.
Most of the companies don't. Most companies take some kind of a loss on the consoles entirely. They make money on games. And it has been smoke and mirrors for months now, all of 2025, of using news or using current events to increase the price of games.
Yep.
Nintendo got us to 80. They Trojan horsed Mario Kart World. Everybody slurped it up. Well, that just sent a message out into the zeitgeist that, oh, they're ready. Everybody's ready for $80 games.
Yep.
Xbox doesn't care about this. I know you covered this on your stream, but it's like, it's all about the Game Pass.
Yeah, it's
all about the Game Pass. And what was it, today or yesterday? They announced that they're doing a Xbox VR console, something.
Yeah, it's literally just the MetaQuest 3S painted black, and they gave you a controller and Game Pass for 3 months. That's all they did. All they did. I had a video a year ago talking about this is exactly what they were going to do. They're not doing VR. They're just making a headset that's branded towards Xbox. That's it. Because Xbox is everywhere. Everything's an Xbox. That's what they're pushing towards.
Because Xbox lost the console war, and they realized, hey, you know what? We shouldn't even be like worrying too much about our business being in the box itself. Games makes the most money. Let's compete with Steam. Yep. What's the best way we do that? Game Pass. And we buy up all the companies.
It's not even the games that make the most money. It's going to be the streaming service that makes the most money. You know, like 365, whatever their software, they do a monthly thing now, right? Everyone goes to a subscription model because they make more money off subscription models than they do off the thing itself, because they know the product itself doesn't cost what it costs. Hence why, like, when Ubisoft puts their games, like Star Wars Outlaws that came out, they're like, oh yeah, you could buy the $100 version, the $150 version, or $18 on Ubisoft Plus, right? Because that's technically how much they feel that game is worth. $18 to $25 is what it's worth, okay? And if they could do that multiple times and sell it at tens of thousands, if not millions of times, that's a recurring, that they want. They would rather sell that than the buy game for $60, $70, $80.
And then you own it.
That's right. And then they don't see you again, right? So that's why there's DLCs. That's why there's microtransactions. This is why there's subscription services, because they want that constant fee coming in every single month. And people don't get that. They think that, well, it's the single player games. I'm like, you guys don't understand, man. The technology, they want all subscription service to be that, because that's where they make their money. Look, Microsoft didn't become $1 trillion company because they made stuff. They didn't make shit. They made software for things, but they never actually made the things themselves. And every time they did make something, like the Zune or the Windows Phone, everything like that, it all went fucking out the door, because they suck at making products, but they're really good at the software side and making the stuff like that. And that's what they're doing now.
Microsoft does something that Disney wishes it could do well again. which is acquire other companies.
Yes.
Microsoft is very good at buying its competition. They'll just buy you outright. It bought Bethesda, bought Activision Blizzard, and this is all to reinforce their long play. Like,
yep, the long game.
It's. I talk about this, and people are like, "But it's only $20. It's cheap. It's like it's still the best option. Game Pass is still the best option." It's like, well, today,
right?
It's the best option today, but when the success metric, and we could tell they're moving away. Success metrics are no longer predicated on buying the game. Now it's players engaged.
Players
engaged.
Yes.
How many players did we get? And that's going to get worse. That's only going to get worse if we allow it to get worse. And my fear is, and well, unfortunately, I may be a fake wizard, but I can kind of see the future. These things are just going to get worse.
Oh, absolutely.
These are going to get worse. We're going to get when that Pokemon game drops, and we officially break all the records with the Switch 2, because everybody's going to be out going to buy it if they don't have it already. It's just going to solidify things. They're going to raise all the prices to $80, and then streaming is going to be the best option. Streaming is going to be the best solution.
Right. Make the problem sell the solution. Yeah. If you fearmonger them into thinking that $80 is too expensive for a video game, well, the $20 price tag for just playing that game on that service is much easier. And even if it goes up to $25, it's still a better deal.
Somebody in chat said here, Game Pass about to jump to 30 or even 40 a month. I don't think it's going to get to 40 a month. If it does, I'll be very surprised. Going to 30 now seems reasonable. We recently found out through a LinkedIn post from someone that worked at Xbox, it's about 35 million users per month.
Yeah.
On Pass.
Because there's another stat that said 15 million of that was the ultimate, and the other one is the other 10% or the other 10 million is from just normal, right? So they're making about $450 to $500 million a month just off of that. Yeah.
Now increase that price. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of money.
Right. You might lose, let's say 3 million people, but now you're charging $5 extra or $10 more, so that makes up for the percentage that leaves because they don't want to pay for that price.
Think about it. It's and I can already hear the comments. Yeah, but $30 is still better than $80.
That's right.
For that one game I want
good value.
Play.
Yep.
Still good value. It's still cheap enough.
Because the average person gets 3 to 4 games, and if 3 games are $80 a piece, that's $240. Well, if you're paying $25 a month for 12 months, it's still around the same price as getting 3 games, you know?
We are, people keep talking about this, oh, well, we want to see we want the industry to crash. We want the AAA crash. We want the AAA crash. It's not going to go down the way you think, because most people are still in the loop. Most people are still in the buying loop. Either they're subscribing to this crap or they're buying the $80 games. There's tons of content, and I've been very vocal about this. There's lots of content creators. There's a lot of YouTubers who have made careers out of calling out bad moves by corporations.
Yep.
And most of it has been social commentary. And here we have an actual situation where it's corporate deviancy, like it's corporate, like wickedness, truly, with money down on consumers, on the customers, the people that they built up trust with, and they endorse it. They are buying these systems. They're buying these games. They're saying how much they love this stuff. And we're going in a direction where there's not going to be a way back. We are not going to get the crash that everybody thinks is going to happen. The way that so many people are like, oh, if it all collapses, it's going to be the AA renaissance. It's like, that's not going to happen. We're going to move into a place where it's only the mega corporations putting out the games, where it's only Microsoft putting out the games. If Ubisoft falls, which it's about to fall, but that's just going to be one of many that fall. All of those side companies will fall, but Microsoft's not going anywhere. Sony's not going anywhere. Nintendo's not going anywhere. Take-Two Interactive's not going anywhere. They've got Grand Theft Auto in the pipeline. Okay. We are going to see more slop with a push to the streaming networks. And once we're all stuck on the streaming networks, we have no voice. You've lost your voice. You've sold your voice away. And that's what's coming next.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize, like, the reason games crashed before is because, well, there was physical stuff back then. The safety net now is it's all digital. They can change like this on the whim, and they have that fallback. And that's what I always tell people, where Nintendo's on hardware, right? Hardware. PlayStation does the hardware. They do. I always joke, Nintendo gives, like, you have a kid, they hand you a Nintendo because it's like from birth to death. You turn it in when you're dead, and you get one when you're born. PlayStation picks them up around like 11, 12 years old, 13 years old, and then you start playing PlayStation, and then it's meant for going into your adulthood, right? It's like getting your first car, basically, right? So that's a Nintendo. Xbox was this weird, like, they came into the business late. They didn't know what to do. They were trying to do stuff, and they went, you know what? We don't need these hardware stuff. We're going to go over here in our own little island and make our own, cloud service or whatever else. And that's why they're putting on televisions. That's why they're doing all the stuff they're doing, because Sega failed because they couldn't compete with Sony and Nintendo with the boxes. They priced themselves out of the market, and that's why Sega crashed, and that's why they just make games now. Xbox, if they're doing the exact same thing as Sega, the difference between Sega and Xbox is, well, there was no internet back then, and now there is. And the internet is a huge, compelling moment of why they are doing what they're doing, because they don't have to make anything. It's all subscription. It's all digital. It's all from cloud. I made a prediction a year and a half ago, and I said within 6 to 7 years, which now we're down to about 5 to 6 years, I said the majority of gaming will be done on cloud. And I'll get people in chat right now that said I'm crazy, okay? But the majority doesn't have to be 90%. It doesn't have to be 60%. It only needs to be around 32
51.
to 33%, right? And that's it, okay? And that's already going. Right now, I think it's like 7%, 8%, okay? But just a couple of years ago, it was less than 1%. And now all of a sudden, it's 7 to 8%. And that's just going to be exponentially faster and faster over time, because now Nintendo's doing digital games. They have a cloud thing. PlayStation's doing cloud stuff. Xbox is doing cloud stuff, right? All of these companies are doing cloud gaming. The ROG Ally is coming out. They're going to be doing cloud gaming, right? So this is just going to go exponentially higher. And everyone's like, well, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to play it, right? I don't want to do that. And I'm like, well, you're going to, because if you're, like you were saying, if you're addicted to gaming, where are you going to go? Where are you going to go?
You don't have any other option.
That's right. You have no options, because the industry decides.
Play Candy Crush instead, bud.
That's right. The industry decides what options you have. And the industry, they're all together. Sony, Nintendo, Xbox, they're all together. Everyone thinks they're against each other, which they are. But at the same time,
but not really.
Yeah, they're together in this industry going, what do you guys want to do? Well, why don't we move to the cloud in the next 10 years? And they're like, oh, that sounds good. And that's what they're doing. They're moving it over.
I thought that myself back on the PlayStation 4 when they added the first cloud feature, and it was terrible. But it was like I don't remember what it was called. I think now the services are all connected, but it was around the same time they were trying to do PlayStation TV. It was like 2013, 14, that time, and they added the first like streaming games now. And I was like, uh-oh. That's concerning.
Right.
That's the future.
Absolutely.
And that's where it's all going to go. And somebody in chat here said it, and that's a great point. Does Game Pass need third-party games now? Getting close to no. That's 100% true. It's all going to be. It's all going to be Microsoft, Sony. Well, maybe not even Sony, but all of the companies that Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo own. That's what the gaming is going to be. When Ubisoft's gone, unless you're a Take-Two Interactive, you don't really stand a chance anymore. And that's why there isn't going to be this like AA renaissance, unless you're a small team like Sandfall did with Expedition 33. But that's going to be few and far between, because acquiring funding to start companies is going to be harder to acquire.
Yeah.
Because you're just competing with Microsoft. You're just competing with Sony. So you're getting funding to back startup companies, getting funding for smaller development studios is going to be, you could get that funding at the cost of your soul.
Right. Yeah.
So you're going to see less creativity in gaming. That's what's coming.
Yeah. And
you're going to see less Sandfalls.
Yeah. And that's why we always tell people not to, let them make the game, sell the game. Don't just buy it because you blindly look. I love Transformers. If Transformers game came out that was like Destiny, I would buy it day one, because I'm like, I love that thing. But at the same time, now the way the industry is going, I'm like, if that Transformer game came out, they would try to microtransactions to death. They would try to do certain things, or the game wouldn't be complete at launch, and then it would take 12 to 18 months to get it to the state where it should be. And by that time, maybe I'll just wait the 18 months and then buy it, because then I would get it cheaper. You know what I mean? Like that's the mentality I have now.
And then we find out that it's live service, and because we didn't buy it on day one, the game failed because there wasn't enough players on it. So by the time we're getting it, it's either shut down already. So it's our fault. Yeah. It's see, man, I would love to play more Transformers games. You play War for the Cybertron games?
Yeah, the best.
Oh my God, those were amazing. And
did you ever play Devastation?
I didn't. The last one is it connected to Cybertron?
So here, let me bring it up on stream. A Transformers Devastation is amazing. Okay, if you're a fan of the original, I don't know how old you are, but if you're a fan of the original G1, it's amazing. God,
yeah, I only prefer G1.
Here, that's the correct answer, by the way. Yeah. So this is off of PlayStation 4. Let me bring this up on screen. Okay, this is Transformers Devastation. Okay, and this is
I've heard of it. Yeah,
right out of the cartoon, man. Okay, it's a more linear type of game, but you can keep leveling up, and they have multiple characters that you're playing. You're only playing the Autobots, but you can level up weapons and stuff. It's so good. It's basically like a boss battle type of thing. You're battling a lot of things. But this game and the War of Cybertron series is fantastic. Let me see if I can get some. He's just jumping around. You gotta see like boss fights and stuff.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to get this now.
This is an excellent game. Excellent game. I highly recommend this if you're a Transformers fan.
Yeah, I'm a super Transformers fan, which is why there you go. There's another franchise that I wish would get its act together.
Oh, we just looked at the footage today of the game that got canceled, the Transformers Reactivate that got canceled by Certain Infinity. They worked on it for like 3 years. Then they stopped working on it. Then it got tossed over to Splash Damage, which they worked on it for 5 years, and they showed it 3 years ago at the Game Awards or whatever, and nothing happened of it. They just canceled it because Hasbro, yet another corporation that doesn't know what the F they're doing.
Hasbro has no idea what they're doing.
Yeah. Did you see today? They put G.I. Joe into Overwatch. Did you not see this?
Did they? I didn't see this. No,
they had 5 characters. They have Destro, Cobra Commander, and Baroness, and then they have Scarlet, and they have a Snake Eyes that they're putting in. They did Transformers like last year, where they put a couple of Transformers there. Now they're doing it with G.I. Joe. Like, how do you not make a standalone game of this? Yeah, it's exactly right. They've all been Fortnited. Call of Duty's been Fortnited. Overwatch has been Fortnited. It's so sad. It's so sad.
I want nothing more than for Hasbro to collapse into the ocean with what they've done. And
I'm right there with you.
Cynthia Williams was like the former president there, was one of the worst things to happen to Hasbro. Wizards of the Coast.
Fucking hate.
Rest in piss. Is all I have to say for them. I don't have anything nice to say for that company.
Do you read comics?
I stopped buying comics.
You need to pick it up. You need to buy the latest Transformers one. There's 21 issues right now. Transformers Energon. It's fantastic. Fantastic.
I'm gonna wait for the big omnibuses, and then
they make I think they have 2 books now, so you can, instead of buying individual comics, they have like the first 6 issues in like one like bind hardcover type of thing. Like, it's excellent. So if you're a Transformers guy and you stop reading comics because they ruin comics and stuff, highly recommend the Transformers the new comics that came out. They started last year.
Yeah. I stopped buying all comics in 2015 when they made I was buying comics, like I have the long boxes, and when they made Captain America into a Hydra agent, I stopped buying comics permanently. So I haven't bought in 10 years now. It'll be 10 years since I bought comics.
I was in the same boat. And then I started buying comics about 26 months ago. I started getting into comics again and started buying just a few. But Eric July, he had his own Rippaverse.
Rippaverse, yeah.
So I got a couple of his ISOMs and stuff like that. Those are good. And it's nice to supporting someone that's making something instead of, put their money where their mouth is and stuff like that. So
I've never interacted with Eric July other than supporting Rippaverse. But I got big props for it, like to him, massive respect, because here's a guy that like started on YouTube calling things out for being a mess, and then actually did something with it.
Yep.
So, and like got like chat for you too. It's like, you know, whether you like him or not, whether you like what he's done or not, here's a guy that actually did something instead of just talking about something. So I'll always have respect for that.
Yeah, I'm trying to get him on the show. I talked to Drunk 3PO, which actually knows Eric July, and he published a book with him with
yeah, I got it. I got both of those.
Yeah. Oh, did you from
Achromatic Chronicles?
Yeah, Achromatic Chronicles.
Green
yeah.
Blue.
Jay was on the show.
And both.
Yeah, those are good too. You know, I got them for my son. And yeah, I just respect that. I respect that they're putting their time and effort into things like that. And again, I don't care where you stand politically, if you agree with them politically or not. What he's doing for the industry is amazing. That this is the age of where you can create your own thing and put it out there. And if people are loyal fans that like what you do, but they're not loyal to him because they like him, his comics are good. All the different characters that he's making are good. They're not just fly by the night, seat of your pants and just trying to push it out there. They're like, what he's doing is very smart. I would love to pick his brain and have him on the show.
Oh my God, I would love to pick his brain. There are so many questions I have about how his operation runs. Like, and I wouldn't want it to be out there because I wouldn't want to like spoil the Krabby Patty formula or anything like that. But oh my gosh, there are so many things that I want to know and so many things that I would recommend. There are so many things that I would want to say, like, hey, you should really do this. And like, obviously it means nothing because I don't understand the business fully, but I think just being a bystander, watching everything from the side, he's got to do, he's got to give people an emotional connection to the characters better. The people that aren't in the market already. Like, he's got the market. Like, he's got his market. He has carved out a piece of the market, and you know, like whether you call it the Fellowship or the Rippaverse or whatever it is, right? He's got his own chunk of the world. I think there's people on the sidelines that he's missing, and I think
absolutely.
I would do so much effort into getting more content out about these characters, and I don't know what form that takes or what the budget would be on that, but oh my God, you'd have a gold mine.
Well, I think what he's doing is smart because, when you have let's say you have a burger place, right? You start your own burger place and you start selling out of your burgers, and then all of a sudden you start opening up more locations, and then your quality kind of drops down because you can't, supply all of these chains that you've opened up. What he's doing is that he's got his finite crew. If it's 5,000 people or 10,000 people, whatever it is, and they're diehard fans. And he can supply that because he knows he can make these books and put them out there, where he's not making books and they're shipping out to comic book stores and then they're just sitting on the shelves and no one's buying them. Right. You know what I mean? And then, you have extra stock and all this other stuff. So what he's doing right now, I think, is perfect for his size. Because again, you don't have to reach out for the entire world. The world's there for you, but he's slowly just building up and then trying different things. Like I think he just released an album with Dan Vask on, and it hit #1 on iTunes or Apple Music. Yeah. Like, so he's niching out this little groove for himself slowly, and Marvel wasn't built in a day. You know what I mean? Like, so I think,
I have
within 15 years, we'll talk about Rippaverse as like a Marvel. I think he'll make cartoons and movies and stuff.
I would never say that I could do it better, or
I hear what you're saying
on his head.
Yeah.
But like, dude, you've got really interesting characters. You can people love stories. People want stories. People connect with stories.
Yep.
And they want new characters. And I feel like you're dealing with something that could go past comic books, and it should.
100%.
And if you have one person in control or one council of people in this company that is in control of the canon, take it to the stars, man, and don't let it. And I guess, just from the little that I know of him, like, he has kind of moved a little bit back from being the YouTuber version of himself, right? He's stepped back a lot from that stuff, to run the company. but like, there's people want a universe that they could trust again.
Absolutely.
And if you can deliver that, you could be a billionaire. And that's not even exaggeration now.
Oh, absolutely. And know what's really cool is being on the ground floor. You know what I mean? Like, imagine being back in the day when Stan Lee like made Marvel and no one knew about it, and then all of a sudden you started reading, Spider-Man and all these characters that he was creating, and then here we are 85 years later, and we know how big Marvel is. Well, Ripperverse could be that, and I think he's making that foundation where, again, like I said, like when my son's my age, the Ripperverse could be that Marvel of that era, which is really cool to see like start here.
Have you heard of the guy Gary Vaynerchuk?
Gary V. Yeah. Gary V.
Gary V is he's a entrepreneur, content creator. He
wanted to buy the Jets. He wanted to buy the Jets. That was his dream.
The Jets.
Yeah.
So I've been a Gary V fan for a long time. I used a lot of his books when I was getting into marketing years ago. I mean, his stuff he was a pioneer in the social media space, and understanding people. He's got a good thing with people. He started, and I kind of compare the two, although one is not comic books like Ripperverse is, but I compare the two of them because it's a similar approach in a way. But Gary V has this big thing of he's been trying to launch a competition to like Pokemon cards.
Oh, I didn't know that. I know he did his wine. I know he used to do like the garage sale type of stuff. I didn't know he was doing the Pokemon stuff now.
So, well, and it all came from when he pushed into NFTs. I would say he's not the same as he used to be. I think he's taken a lot of punches. I think he's given out a lot of bad advice over the last 5 years, and it's not a good look. And I hope he comes back and he makes some kind of a comeback, but that's just because I like the underdog story. Right. But he launched this brand of like cartoon characters that he would draw, and they went out as NFTs. And it was like kind of silly names, but it was like Golden Goose, and like the tagline for it is like "Be nice," and the whole theme is that it's surrounded for like little kids.
Would it be like Garbage Pail Kids, like back in the day?
No.
Garbage Pail Kids are.
Yes, I do, but it was more like cute characters, like preschool television styled characters, and he tried to reverse engineer Pokemon without earning Pokemon.
Oh. I gotcha.
And I've always kind of seen these things. It's like, well, Ripperverse over here creating a universe of characters, and like with every comic entry, it's like, here's the story for this character, and you get the whole comic book. It's a complete story there. Okay, well, that's great, and you got somebody over here like Gary V who tried to reverse engineer that, who tried to come in hard with the cards aspect, or tried to come in hard with the toys aspect. Like he had a whole private line through Macy's at one point, which was kind of impressive. It was like your first, it was interesting. Just from the business aspect, but it's like, you gotta earn that. You have to. Pokemon earned its reputation hard.
Yeah,
I mean, that anime
stole fair and square from Dragon Quest.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
It stole fair and square, and I think the anime carried that franchise
100%.
In the 90s. Without the anime, Pokemon, it would still be big, but it wouldn't be as big as it is today. Not at that caliber. That the anime was huge in America.
It was after my time, but I know exactly. Like I never did Pokemon card. I did like Magic the Gathering cards when in that time frame, and then Pokemon blew up, and then a bunch of other ones like blew up. I forget the other one is what's the
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Other one? Yu-Gi-Oh! That's it.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Was big. It's the business side of it has always been interesting. You have to earn that placement, and people want stories. People want to. The reason you can look at, or at least for people that are my age, they look at Squirtle. They have an immediate emotional connection to Squirtle. They have an immediate emotional connection to Pikachu, and I think Eric July should really hone in on that. You got to give people a reason to be like, when they see Isom, it's like, that's Isom. I love Isom. Yeah, that guy's awesome. And sure, he's got a lot of people that think like that, but my God, it's for the level of creativity and the amount of creativity he has around him. It's like, you got a gold mine here, man. You got to make it explode. But again, I don't know where their business plans are, where they're.
I don't either. I'm just looking at, I think, based on, because he's very transparent by putting the sales and stuff like that. And it's not a Kickstarter that he does. He has his own site. So like when you buy the book, it's already printed. He's already got them made, and it ships really fast once they're done. I think I have like 7 different issues of different characters that he has, and every single one so far, obviously I'm looking at them and going, these are nice new characters. I'm not trying to compare him to other characters in the past from other creators of DC or Marvel, like just what he's building slowly, and people don't understand that. To build a world from scratch, do you know what I mean? Easy. It's not easy at all. I know. And he's trying to do this
and Dragon stuff. It's not easy.
To like what Tolkien did with Lord of the Rings, and the detail that he did with while they're in a town and talks to the baker, and the baker has this detailed of like he's got a family and kids and all. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy to think of. So when you're building up a brand new universe, it's super hard, and everyone thinks because Marvel did it and DC does it that he should just come out and it should just be like, ta-da! It's like that. That's not how it works, So I love the slow pace of what he's doing. As again, we're in like what I think year 3 of his business. I think right now. I think this is the 3rd year. So who knows where he'll be? In the next 5 years, 10 years. So I'm excited to see it. I went to go see him in person when they were here for MegaCon because I'm in the Orlando area. The line was around the corner. I was like, I don't have time. I was like, oh, maybe next time. Yeah, he's got a lot of fans, man. A lot of fans. And he built it up with YouTube. You know what I mean? Like he built it up with YouTube by talking about video games and then political stuff. And then he went into, making the comics and the music. And he seems like a really cool guy, really like down to earth person that you could, get along with.
And that works for him. But he earned that rapport.
Earned it. That's correct.
He earned it. He earned that with integrity, and people want stories, and they want to buy things from real people. I think that's a big focus.
When you're talking
people
about
like buying from real people.
Yeah, his story is a story. Him coming from what he had to building up this thing is people are on the path of that story. Like what happens to Ripperverse and the next thing he comes out with, not even part of the comic stuff. It's just his story of like where he came from to what he is. People like that stuff.
People like story is everything, and like all of our lives are made up of stories. I look at story and like the whole foundation of storytelling is like really defined a lot of my life. But just even like just the frameworks of storytelling, and I look at it through that lens of like that's how you connect with people. You connect with people through stories. When you're hearing people talk, like just through conversation, it's all storytelling. People that are boring, that are terrible at connecting with you, it's because they're bad storytellers.
Yeah,
and like it's such a fundamental, a foundational thing. And I think storytelling is very much under attack. I think it's very much under attack. I think they're trying to, them being like the corporations that we all make videos on, are trying to diminish the values of stories, and they're trying to diminish the values of storytelling. And not even just like Luke Skywalker or Han Solo. It's like heroes in general too. They're gonna completely change the way that we connect with one another, and that's a scary thing.
Oren says about the corporations, buy from, instead of buying from corporations. And at one point in the future, Eric July's Ripperverse will be a large corporation, because that's just where you go from small to build up to what it is. Now, the difference is there's always going to be people that like it where it started, and maybe they'll stop supporting when he gets that too big of size, maybe he doesn't get to that size, but you would think that because businesses have to keep growing, as long as they keep that organic sensibility of their business, you know what I mean? Don't forget where they came from when they make it big and they keep it there, then people will like that. But if they go too corporate, or maybe he sells Ripperverse to a corporation, everyone's got a price, right? Let's say Disney, I don't think he would ever sell this to Disney, but you know what I'm saying? If Disney's like, we'll buy Ripperverse from you for, $4 billion. You know what I mean? Then it becomes that corporate, and you're like,
you know what though? It's the kind of thing of like somebody
I
like
don't think
Eric
he would
July
sell. I'll be honest.
took a gamble, right? It's a risk, right? Firstly, he's not a wizard. He's got his real name attached to everything. He's got his
Right.
whole life attached to it. You know, his family, his reputation. He's made lots of friends. Like, he's very close with the people on here. He has bound himself eternally to this. And I also don't think he wouldn't have gotten this far if people like saw that it was a facade, or if people thought that he was lying to them. So that's a big thing too. But I really want to push back on that idea of everybody has a price. And it really has nothing to do with Eric July, but I think I like challenging that. I love challenging that. No. The best feeling in the world is turning people down when they try to give you money, which is a privileged position to be at. Like, I get to say that. I have my own company. Like, leaving money on the table when you know that it's going to, like, if I take this money, so I have a lot of reps.
It's because you have integrity, right? You have morals and integrity. Yes.
But I also have a lot of reps doing it. So it started at small numbers and then it worked its way up. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, they're offering me all this money. It's, oh my gosh, it'll change my life. Like, no. I got to start small and move up. But I wish more people can learn what that felt like. I wish more people could have that experience of saying, you can't buy me. And I wish more people experience that. There's nothing better. There really is nothing better than being like, I got to say no. I'm in control.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you, because I've had the small sponsorships. I've had people tempt for me, and they're like, "Oh, I'll give you this." I'm like, I don't like your product, so I'm not going to do that, right? So, again, like I said in the very beginning of the show, I'm not doing this for the money. I'm doing this because I love doing what I'm doing. I don't think Ripaverse would sell. But what I mean by that, when I say that everyone has a price, everyone has a price. It all depends on where you are in your situation in life. You know what I mean?
Of course.
If someone hits you up when you're at the top of your game, you're like, nah, I don't want to sell. But when you're down on your luck, or something comes up in life and all of a sudden you're like, everyone does have a price. So I'll push back on your pushback just a little bit, because it's very situational when me saying that everyone's got a price, because it all depends on where you are in that situation. But yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Most people have I don't want to say most people, but a lot of people have integrity. A lot of people have morals, and they won't sell because they are passionate about what they're doing or what they're trying to do, and they think that they can see it through, and they want to see it to the end. And if they can't do it, you know what I mean? Like, that's, I think, how most people would be treated.
I think, yeah, of course, it comes down to timing more than anything.
Yeah,
based on what you're saying. I mean, you're absolutely right. Yeah, I think timing is a big issue.
Like, if Stanley said $1 million, like $10 million for your ideas when he first started, do you think he would continue with it, or do you think now, 80 years later, like, hey, I'll buy it for $100 billion? You know what I mean? Like, so I mean, he put 80 years of his life into that. So would he sell?
Well,
that's
just it.
He did at one point.
Yeah. Well, hey, and then now it's in the Mouse House hands.
Yeah.
But I guess there's just because it's a concept I really haven't been able to hit on enough. But never giving up your integrity. And maybe there needs to be more words to that to explain it better. But it's like, I fully believe if you can't be bought for anything, for any reason, and you're resolute with that. Also, I'm stupid rebellious. I'm
right there with you. Yeah, no, I'm right there with you.
I'm ridiculously rebellious. In fact, just to bring this home, like, I'll have client meetings now, like between my business partner and I can't speak. That is a rule that we have. Like, I can't speak because I'm so rebellious.
Yeah,
I will tell them the real truth. Like, not that we're lying, but like, I will tell them, client, you're out of your freaking mind. It's not going to work. You have no idea what you're talking about. And that doesn't go well. So now my business partner does most of the speaking.
Is your business partner from New York as well?
Yes.
That's interesting because I'm originally from New York, and I'm very rebellious. I'm very outspoken. I don't beat around the bush, man. Like, I'll tell it how it is. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
But that to me is freeing, right? I'm not beholden to anybody. I'm not, I do what I want, but it's not like I think I'm better than anybody else. It's just that I don't know. I think it's like street smarts that we pick up in the Northeast. You know what I mean? Like, there's just I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to explain it.
I don't know what it is. I wish I had a better explanation, like just even for both of us here. It's like I don't know what it is, but I don't like lying to people.
I've always been a critical thinker. I've always critically think. I've always been street smart. I've always been right. My chat will tell you I'm a fucking moron when it comes to I mess up everyone's names, right? I can't read. You know what I mean? Like I'm an absolute idiot when it comes to shit like that. But when it comes to thinking of like reading an article, reading between the lines and thinking ahead and doing street smart stuff and always like I'm really good at that. I'm very sharp when it comes to stuff like that. I can read people. I understand business very well, but I just suck at the English languge.
Hey,
I can't.
Everybody has the things that they're good and bad at, right?
So we were talking about the movies earlier, right? Superman's coming out. I know you touched on it in your last video, or not your last video, your last live stream that you do. You do live streams on what, Sundays?
Sunday afternoons, Eastern time.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I just saw it happened to pop up in a thing, and I just started looking through it, and I was like, oh, he's talking about Superman, right? Just pop culture in general. But are you interested in Superman at all? Are you a big Superman fan? I should say before this movie came out.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I love Superman. I'm a big Superman fan. The way that people like really love Batman, I've really loved Superman. I loved Henry Cavill's Superman, though I didn't love those movies. I didn't hate them.
I think he was the perfect specimen, like Christopher Reeves was back in the day for Superman. Yeah.
But also something that it's such a mess to even talk about this because of how like religious people become around Zack Snyder. Like he's got some good movies. He's got some stinkers. He's not the greatest thing out there, right? But at that time, as part of the culture at the time when those movies came out, it was going for edgy. It was let's go like super. It worked for Batman. We made Batman super edgy and relatable. Like let's do something for Superman here. And I loved the idea of where they were going. Like I loved the idea of and that was the whole thing of Superman is an ideal of hope. And it's 100%. Like we're getting to it. And like that's the whole point of and it never ever landed where it was supposed to be ramping to. But I loved Henry Cavill. And am I excited for the upcoming Superman? I just don't care.
I hate the way they do trailers now. Like the trailers back in the day were so simplistic. It was just teasing you about what the movie was and hey, come and watch it. Now they show you the entire thing. And
the entire movie's in the trailer.
Yeah, and every time they do a new trailer, they show you more stuff than they did the last trailer. This movie, I'm kind of turned off by in the very beginning. I want to see it. I do. But I'm turned off by it because they showed so many other characters in the film that I just want a Superman film, right? Like, and then James Gunn comes out and says, well, we have as many actors as, and I forget what movie he compared it to. Like, he's like, we have less characters in this movie. And I'm like, that's not what it's about, man. We just want Superman, right? We just want Superman and Lois and Jimmy Olsen and Lex Luthor. You know what I mean? Like, we just want the simplistic of telling us the story of Superman, and yet they throw in all these other characters, and I just feel like, I don't know, man. I think he's chasing the tails of what Marvel did in early Marvel with Iron Man and stuff like that, and I feel like it's just going to fall flat in 2025.
So let me start off by saying Marvel wants Superman to make $1 billion.
Oh, for sure.
Whether it impact, like that's something everybody should know. Everybody should be talking. Like, understand this. Disney wants Superman to explode because if it doesn't, that's going to ripple into Disney's business.
Yep.
There needs to be a book. So like, that's just, I want to throw that out there. Not enough people talk about that. Everybody's like, what's going to win? Fantastic Four or Superman? It doesn't matter. Disney wants them both to win. Warner Brothers wants them both to win. They both need to win. So that's important. But I think people just... So firstly, there is just bad movie fatigue. The people are done with going to the movies. It's everything we said before. It's like, well, okay, I didn't care to drive to see Lilo and Stitch. I did, but I didn't want to. And
you're like, God, I got to go to the theater. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I got to drive. It's far away. There's traffic, and then it's expensive. So like right off the top there, people don't feel incentivized to go to movies. And then on top of that, you made it this big ensemble piece for your first run.
Yeah.
And then I've been saying for what feels like almost a year now, every piece of marketing behind Superman is very and that's not good.
Did you know James Gunn was directing it? Did you know James Gunn is directing it? That's all you ever see anytime you see Superman. James Gunn's Superman. James Gunn's. It's like, yeah, we get it. We get it. James Gunn, director. We got it. Like, I don't know what their marketing is. They're marketing James Gunn more than the actual Superman.
I don't understand why they're making the decisions that they are. I also want to just point out, I hope I'm wrong. I hope this movie's good. I want it to bomb, but I hope it's a good movie. You know, it's like I still want it to be a good movie, and I will have no problem doing a review video saying I eat my words. I was totally dead wrong. This movie's great. I enjoyed it. That hasn't happened yet. Haven't seen it, but I have such little expectations now going into this. They're doing the same thing that Universal did with Dark Universe. They're counting the chickens before they hatched. Okay. Yep. Universal tried to do the Dark Universe. They tried to put out all of these. Oh, we're going to do Jekyll and Hyde in the Mummy movie, and it's going to set up. We're going to do Wolfman, and Johnny Depp's going to be a Dracula or something. Javier Bardem is going to be Frankenstein. Like, we're going to do this whole universe, you guys. And they bombed after the first film. Like, it was over after film number 1 because they came out swinging too hard. They didn't know what they were doing. They were like, well, we could just capture the Marvel lightning. But it wasn't lightning. Marvel earned it. Not just with Iron Man, going back in the 90s, like Blade.
Yep.
It was like Daredevil. As much as we laugh at Daredevil, like Ben Affleck's Daredevil,
Ben Affleck's
a lot of people saw it.
Yeah.
A lot of people saw it.
That's a terrible movie. Yeah.
It's a terrible movie, but like as a kid, I loved the Daredevil film. Like as a kid, it's cheesy, it's corny, it's like it's better than most of the things Disney's making now. Like it's kind of insane. X-Men, like it was a long-winded snowball into Iron Man.
Yeah.
And people really they're like, oh well, Iron Man started all, and that's not true. That's not true. The only reason we all went to see Iron Man is because it was the same year X-Men Wolverine, and that sucked. You had X-Men Last Stand, you had the X-Men movies. Those were big. Those were a big deal. Spider-Man's, those were a big deal. Tobey Maguire, there was a lot of history there. And they're skipping all that for this Superman movie that no one cares about. Yeah, I don't think it's going to make $1 billion.
Yeah, DC is trying to do a cheat code. They're trying to get to what Marvel was before putting the work in, right? That's what they tried to do with Zack Snyder's universe as well, because they were looking at it as they were trying to get to the Justice League before they built all the movies, right? And it's like, make the movies slowly build up and then do the Justice League movie. Instead, they were just like fast passed through all that stuff to try to do it, and it failed, right? Can you imagine in a world that Aquaman is the most successful movie? The character Aquaman is bigger than Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman. Like, what world, what time frame are we living in? Yeah.
That's vindication for everybody making fun of Aquaman for all those years. That's what that is, for making fun of when he's on the Super Friends. Oh, man.
Did you ever remember watching Entourage? You ever watch Entourage on HBO?
I didn't.
Oh, okay. So there's this show called Entourage.
It,
okay. So you know the Entourage where the guy was famous and his big role that he got in the show was he was playing Aquaman. And that was the joke, because it's like, who the fuck would watch an Aquaman film, right?
Yes.
And here we are in 2025. The best movie in 2018 was Aquaman at like 1.3 billion or some crap like that.
Yeah, it was like 1.2, 1.3.
Yeah.
It's wild. But like, what's really crazy, and I can't believe I haven't said this before, all the Superman marketing is reminding me of Black Adam.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about that until you just said it.
It just dawned on me thinking about it. I'm like, wait a second. This feels like Black Adam. It's the big ensemble movie.
Yeah.
We might be looking at another Black Adam.
Do you know why they do ensembles? I think you know why they do ensembles, We kind of
Well, I
touched
have a
on it a
couple
little
of
bit earlier.
theories,
Yeah, go ahead.
but it's typically, they don't trust the character to sell the movie on its own, but then it's to fit everybody else in, so they have more representation in a way.
Yeah, it's because the writers don't know what they're doing, and because they don't feel like they can write for one character because it gets too personal and too emotional, whatever. Like it's so hard for them to write like for just Lois and Clark type of characters, right? So they're like, well, how do we break it up? Well, what about if we introduce these characters and give them more screen time so it's less to do with these characters? You know what I mean? And that's the problem with a lot of these ensemble casts that they do, because how do you take, for instance, let's switch real quick to the Doomsday Avengers, where they're doing that whole panel where they had like 30 chairs as they went across the thing. Like, how are they going to fit all of these characters into that one freaking movie? Hey, for the first film, like 32 characters. What do they each got like 30 seconds to say something? And then they move on to the next character. Like, how's that going to happen? Especially when Robert Downey Jr. is getting paid way more than everybody else. And he's going to have more screen time in that film than anybody else, right? So it's so dumb.
Maybe. We don't even know. That movie needs to be like 4 hours for them to tell a compelling story at this point.
Right.
Because
minimum.
There's no way you could set all of this up with there's no setup for this Doomsday film.
It's Fantastic Four and then nothing until next December. It's like, what? What's happening? No Disney Plus shows, no movies, no nothing. It's Fantastic Four and then wait 18 months.
Thank God for that.
Yeah.
No more Disney Plus shows. Thank God.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know, man.
We are looking at the end of, hopefully the end of the whole superhero genre push. It's not going to go away forever. It's not like, oh, it's over and it's dead, but it's never going to be what it once was, because people are done. You've lost the audience. You can't tell a good story anymore.
Is that true, Krebsy? There's a rumor now that it's going to get pushed from December into May of 2027. So we could go 2 years without a movie. Oh my God.
Unfortunately, it's what Marvel needs, but not what the circumstances going into this dry area, because people will forget about it entirely. People will stop caring. They need to crank out another movie right now as an interim and get that out for next summer. That's what they need.
We were talking in chat the other day. They were talking about how video games are going to be like the new superheroes, right? They're going to, like, obviously Super Mario did well. Minecraft did extremely well. Minecraft is a terrible movie, but it almost broke $1 billion. You know what I mean? So Sonic's well. They're going to make a Zelda movie. They're doing, more Resident Evils and whatever else they're doing, like another Uncharted film. So do you think that that's the new, like, superheroes are out, video games are back in?
If I don't even want to answer that, because I want the answer to be no, but the truth is yes. And I don't want to bring that into reality. It's like, do I enjoy the Sonic movies? Like, yeah, they're fun, but like, I want more from it. Like, I want more from the movies and the Sonic. Did you watch the Knuckles show?
I didn't.
It was a steaming pile of crap.
I'll have to ask my son, because I think he watched it. I want to see what he says. He's pretty straightforward.
It is aggressively bad. Every episode gets worse. And I watched the whole thing. My brother and I watched the whole thing together in one sitting. We were like, we just got to see how this ends. Well,
that's good that you didn't have to wait for it all. You could just watch it all in one garbage dump at a time. That's nice.
And it was a garbage dump. But it starts off and the first episode ends and we're like, you know what? This is for kids. So I understand where they're going with. By the end, we're like, this is the worst thing they could have done. This is terrible. But, you look at something like that, and then you look at the Sonic movies. It's like, yeah, these are fun. But, even Iron Man 2008 had a lot of heart behind it. Like, phase one Marvel, right? It's like, yeah, these are roller coaster rides, like Martin Scorsese says. But at the same time, they still have some heart behind them.
Cinema, pure cinema.
Cinema.
Yeah.
I want the cinema back. And we don't really have that anymore. Yeah. So no, the rush for, let's just crank out movies for that are video games. It's like everybody's learning the wrong lesson.
Yeah, 100%.
Because we're just gonna get more Minecrafts, and we're gonna have idiot kids throwing popcorn around, screaming "chicken jockey."
Chicken jockey.
Or
yeah.
I don't. I don't get it. I guess that's how I maybe this beard is becoming real because I might be getting too old, but it just seems stupid.
Are you in your mid-30s? Or
Almost.
you? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm almost 50, but yeah, even though my name's 30 and still gaming, that's a lie. That's a lie. Don't tell anybody. Yeah, so yeah, I feel like when I hit my mid-30s, like I became like what you're describing. Like you just want like the world to burn, and you've seen all your shit that you loved. They're being destroyed one IP at a time, type of stuff. So I understand where you're coming from there.
I do want new stuff though. Like that's the caveat. It's not like, oh, I want everything to
shitting
end.
on the old stuff and making it theirs.
I want people my age. I want people younger than me. I want the next generation of storytellers to take over things and start telling their own stories. I don't need any more Star Wars. We've got plenty of it. Like,
yep.
50 years almost of Star Wars very soon, right? No more of that. Tell new stories, make new things, and I want to encourage like people to start telling stories. I'm jaded and maybe bitter. The word is the word I typically use. It's like I'm extremely bitter to what the corporations have done, because Star Wars used to be incredible, and it still could have been today.
Yeah, now it's just incredibly bad.
Now it's just incredibly bad. It's like the well didn't dry up. You dropped a series of grenades in there and blew the well up.
Yeah, you blew the well up, and now there's toxic waste left in there, and it's just hanging out over there. Yeah.
Yeah, there's radiation poisoning, and somebody's good. Oh, he's growing a third arm. Okay, yep. No, end it. It's time for it to end. And but like Expedition 33, that's a brand new IP from a small team of developers that were very talented and hired very talented people. Something that's insane is like, I hope I'm not mistaken in this, the guy who did the soundtrack or whoever did the soundtrack for Expedition 33, they found them on Fiverr.
Yeah, that's what they say. Yeah, but imagine that, right?
Baffling. I listen to the soundtrack almost every day, mostly because I just listen to like orchestra music most of the time. But it's like I listen to that all the time. Somebody on Fiverr did it, and that's not to discredit people on Fiverr. It's like, no, there are creative people out there. We just need to give them a chance to put their art into the world.
Yeah, I mean, look at some of the modders that make mods for some of the games out there. You're like, how do they make this game by themselves on a weekend? But meanwhile, the people that actually work for the company, it takes them 7 months to like fix something. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Chat, I'm going to open it up to you real fast. If you guys want to put some questions, just put a Q in front of your question, and I'll mark it, and then we'll get some questions for Wizards. We're still talking here, but I'll put a little banner up so you know that you can ask a question, and then we'll keep that up for a couple minutes, and then we'll get your questions in. So, there was something else I was going to ask you. Oh, when you stream, when you're doing this whole different scenarios where you're in your green screen and stuff.
Yes.
Now, are you cutting off? Okay, so obviously you have a green screen behind you. Okay.
Yes.
Are you using filters, or are you using for the foreground, or do you have two pictures overlaid and then you cut off the top part?
Okay. So this is a really fun question.
This is a geek question from me because every time you do your videos, you're cutting to like the Millennium Falcon, you're cutting to different things. You're in Lord of the Rings.
I'm pretty sure I have them all here. I could switch to here. Like I have them all ready.
I used to do this. What you're doing when I played different video games, I would put myself like on the boat in Sea of Thieves and like different things. So
yeah. So it was. I gotta switch it back so that I'm looking at you properly. It was there was a few channels that I really loved years ago. They don't even make content anymore. I think one of the guys is dead. But where he would cut to different camera angles.
Yeah,
and it was attention. Like that was part of the channel. Is he was looking here and then he'd turn and it was a far a wide shot. And then he'd look down and it was so cool how you'd look down and then there was this close macro shot like right on his desk. And then, but you would see the whole setup and he had like 5 different cameras. And I've always wanted to do that. And I tried doing that once, but I'm really terrible at riffing. I need to be on script for my videos for them to work. So I ended up putting up a teleprompter. Like right now, I have a teleprompter up here. It's all connected. And then I'm like, well, I'll just do it this way. And then I could just switch all the scenes out just through using OBS. So something like this right here is, yes, it's 2 pictures. It's the background. And then
you cut it off and then, yeah.
Yeah. And then I used like Canva to like pull the image off of it.
Remove the whole image out. Yeah. Much
now it's
easier
on top
to do
of
that
each
now.
other. And so I only use OBS. So I record all of my videos natively like this, and then I just toss them into Premiere already cut up. So I don't do the green screen in post.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, I wonder how long it takes him to do each of those things. But you just have them just templates now, and you just pop them in.
I'm like, if I'm gonna spend all this time writing the thing, I can't afford the time editing the thing. So I'm like, how I have my Premiere, I use Premiere Pro for everything, and I'm like, I have it meticulously outlined to folders and organized ridiculously so that I can crank through doing all my edits. I do all the editing myself. Like I'm sure you do too.
Yeah, we're all well, I used to edit. I don't even fucking edit anymore. I just do live streams. I do the Monday through Thursday for 2.5 hours. I don't read scripts. I basically just shoot off the hip pretty much the whole time. That's why, I'll be honest, that's why my channel doesn't grow, because scripted stuff works really well. Really well. So my other channel, Nerding with 30, I did a scripted thing, and it blew up like 12,000 views and stuff like that when I did scripted. And I hated it because it sounded like I was reading, right? And when I just free like this, I mean, I don't get a lot of views. I get average 300 views for my live channels every day, but I just like doing that better. I like riffing off the chat. I like going banter back and forth. So I don't do any of my, I used to edit, but then I just said it's not worth it because I'm not getting views. So,
it's, yeah, YouTube is a pain in the ass. Content creation as a whole is a pain in the ass. I used to do like the shorts. I used to do Instagram shorts for when I was doing the wizard thing, and I would take clips out from all the topics that I covered on stream, and then I would turn those into shorts. But there's nothing lucrative in there for growing an audience. It's just the shorts is not fun. I enjoy building the community here, doing like the actual videos and doing the actual live stream, like what you're doing here. It's much more fun. It's way more satisfying. Yeah,
way more satisfying. At least that's what I like doing. Actually, I wanted to ask you, but I didn't ask during the beginning of the show. When you're doing content, you're talking to people in the comment section, right? You have to have like a thick skin as a content creator. A lot of people think that streaming is just turn a camera on and start talking and stuff like that. But obviously, in the early days of when you're starting out, people are going to come in and be like, why are you wearing a fucking beard, you loser? You know what I mean? Like that's what they do. Yeah, that's exactly what they do. Right? So how do you, I already know the answer because you're from New York, so it doesn't really bother you, but how do you mentally like prepare or deal with this every day when you're doing stuff like this?
I love this question, and I wish more people talked openly about this kind of stuff, because even like your son was saying, like he wants to be a YouTuber. It's like, yeah, but there's way more to it that you need to be prepared for, and they don't talk about it. There is no talk about how vile comment sections are. And it's like, oh, well, is that it's a cesspool. It is the most vile, disgusting thing. And I mean, that's a whole stream in and of itself, just talking about the concepts behind it. Or firstly, being able to predict what your comment section is going to say and what your naysayers are going to say is really important, because then you can already plan ahead for that in your content. So it's so much fun to if you're already thinking, what is my opposition thinking? And so then you're treating everything as if it's a debate, but it's you can plan better for handling that. Oh, how do I handle it? Well, firstly, I just don't care anymore.
But I knew the answer. But that's basically it. Yeah,
I just don't care. But I want to extrapolate that, because this is really important for people, because it's not just YouTube. I feel like people can really learn this in their normal lives. It's criticism it's a beautiful thing if you understand how to use it like it's a tool, right? And so there's 2 types of criticism. There's haters, and then there's naysayers. And there are really 2 very different things, and they can be classified in different ways. So naysaying is, I've defined it as you're never going to amount to anything, right? That's what those comments are. It's the, why are you wearing a beard? That's stupid, right?
Right.
I don't consider that as hate. That's naysaying. These people were never going to care about anything I had to say. The hate on the other side that is actually important is when people say, hey, you completely missed this point. This point was so important. You didn't talk about it. And it's a major point in your video that you neglected. Thank you. That's my next video.
Right. The content. Yes. The content comes from that. Yeah.
It's well, and it's not even just the content, but it's like your haters in your normal life are giving you the gifts of information you might be missing. Learn from your haters. Like, you learn everything you can from them. So that's a really important thing. I hope people can be prepared for. The other thing is, and this is kind of I heard this quote recently, and it's really kind of hit me hard. And it's, stop taking advice from people, or stop taking criticism from people you wouldn't take advice from.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And it's like, if people don't have the life that you want, stop listening to them.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of commenters and creators on here. After that, I've really like kind of felt that, and I'm living that now, of like, yeah, there's a lot of people that are shooting their mouths off. I wouldn't want their lives, or I wouldn't want to think the way that they do. I got way too much going on over here.
Right.
It's people are shooting their mouths off saying things. I can't imagine how sad your life must be that you get off going in and ranting on a keyboard in the comments section.
Oh, books, like there's paragraphs written sometimes with things. I'm just like amazed. I'm like, you hate me, but yet you're leaving an essay.
Yeah.
You're leaving an essay in my comment section. Yeah.
It's like, I can't imagine how sad your life must be that's how you're spending your time. You know, and that's it's rough. So I usually hit them with that text is a little long. Sorry it happened, or happy that you're happy. You know,
there's always someone, no matter what you do. Like, if you do it, 9 times out of 10, there'll be one person that hates you. But then if you change it or try to adjust something, then people hate that you did the other thing. There's always going to be someone that's unhappy what you're doing or what you're talking about, or missing a point, because in their head, they're watching like 15 YouTube videos and they're watching different content creators talking about the same topic with different things. And then they come to your topic and they see it, and they start parroting what other people are saying because you missed the point, and they pointed out that like it's theirs. But meanwhile, they're just parroting someone else's. It's like this weird balance of they try to outsmart you, even though you really don't care. You're just giving your opinion on stuff, and then they're trying to make it where you're wrong about your opinion. It's just a weird dynamic on YouTube.
It's, you anime profile picture XOXO is shooting their mouth off in the comments. Like,
yeah,
I don't give a shit. I don't care. I used to, and then I got hate mobbed once by another creator who
really
inadvertently sent the hate mob. Like, he wasn't trying to cancel me. We actually streamed together. It was a really good time. I have a lot of respect for the guy. He did a video response to one of my videos, and I'm a little peeved. He took out all the comedy because I had a lot of really good jokes in that video. And he clipped them all out.
Yeah,
he clipped them all out. I'm still butthurt on that. But we did a whole stream together after the fact, because I'm like, we agree on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But I got hate mobbed by people. And so it was a really important moment for me doing this, because it was like, people are taking me out of context. People are assuming the worst. I'm this terrible monster. And it's like, no, wait a second. They don't understand who I am yet. But I'm going to be unapologetically me.
Yeah.
And show them. And that's the best thing I think you could do is if you lead with integrity first, then if they still don't like you after that, who gives a shit?
Majority of the people that are in my live streams every day, I get about 30 to 40 people. Most of them were haters, honest to God, or didn't like me, or didn't think they agreed with me. Because I used to be on I had my channel, but I used to be on another person's channel, and we used to do a podcast together every single week, right? And I was always the yin to yang, right? Where he would say something, and it wasn't that I didn't believe what I was saying. It was just that I was, as a podcast, you want to keep the people in the channel interested, right? So if the question was one thing, I'd be like, well, what about this, right? I would give the other side of the thing. And people hated me for it. They hated me for it. They hated when I was on the show. They hated on the stuff, but he loved it that I was on the show because it got the chat to interact and stuff. Most of those people came over and watched me because they wanted to hate me or say something stupid or say something, and they've been here for fucking 5 years. You know what I mean? Like, so like that's the biggest thing. They didn't know who I was, and you just said it perfectly, right? I was just being me, and they finally saw who I am, right? And I'm not anyone different than I was over there. They just finally realized that, oh, he's not like that. He's just saying the other side and stuff. So that's where I come from. Yeah. All right, let's take some questions. Are you good for a couple minutes?
Absolutely.
See, it's been 2 hours. I told you it would go by like super fast.
I just snap.
All right, so question number one here, it says from Waterbear, it says, question for Wizard. Do you feel as though Rockstar should reset the gaming market by pricing GTA 6 to $50 instead of regular price or even higher?
Nothing would make me happier than seeing Rockstar come out with $59.99.
That'd be crazy if they did.
Sure. Would they?
It would
would 50 work?
So many copies.
I would personally buy
two
copies. I would buy two. Just to say, I support this. And I didn't even play GTA 5. The last one I played was 4. And like, do I feel that they should? Oh my God, I would love it. They would make their money. If we multiply it out, I wish I had the numbers in front of me, but like GTA 5 has made billions of dollars.
Oh yeah, it's the biggest piece of entertainment on the planet.
It's GTA 5, which sells. See, and that's the other thing. Rockstar doesn't discount their games often, unless you go to like a Walmart and get Red Dead 2 on sale. Like, it's not always on sale. Like Rockstar games are not always on sale. They usually maintain Nintendo level pricing, maybe just below that. So you put it out for $60 and then you leave it out there for $60 forever. You're gonna make billions of dollars again. And it's going to send the signal to the world that Microsoft ain't it, Nintendo ain't it. It would be the ultimate move, but I don't think that's going to happen. Instead, what I'd like them to do is to just do $200.
Oh, you want them to come out with a $200?
I want them to make it worse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if they make it worse, we're going to hit that line I was talking about in the earlier part of the show. We'll hit that line sooner because then everybody else is going to go up to 125, 150. Gears of War E-Day is going to be $175, and then we're really going to put people to the fire. We're really going to light people up. That's what I want. Wake them up. It's a harsh reality.
I think I'm on your side. I think I want to see that more than the $50, $60 GTA. I want to see the $200 GTA.
Some people need to have their houses burned down in Minecraft, and that's what's going to happen if GTA comes at $500. I don't care. Charge $1,000. Nothing would make me happier than saying, "Told you this was going to happen."
Yeah, that'd be funny. Real quick, I saw the super chat earlier and I forgot to say anything about it. Thank you very much. I could pop up for $5 super chat. He says, debate 101. Know the other side. If you know the other side, you're smarter than 99% of the rest of the people talking. Thank you very much for that.
Yes.
All right,
absolutely
second question. Altern says, question, since the Switch 2 is what it is, do you believe that there's a chance for the ROG Xbox to rise as the one-stop shop? I say yes only if they price it right. If they don't price it right, then it's not going to move. It's just going to be a collector's item, and that's about it. Yeah, it
is. These there's been the big discussion. Oh well, Nintendo's a family console. Not anymore. It's a gamer's console now. And then what happens immediately after that? Rogue Ally is going to be $800, $900, over $1,000. Well, do you know what you've just done? You've just made Nintendo the family console again, you idiots.
Yep. If I said if they come out with that white version and they price it exactly the same as the Switch, that will sell better because of the convenience factor, because of all the different, Battle.net, Steam, if Epic gets on there. Because let's be honest, people won't go from Epic on your computer to like the launch Epic to Steam. You know what I mean? They like Steam, they won't touch Epic, and it's on the same device. Okay, so we're talking about the one-stop shop on the device. If it's there and it's convenient, they'll be like, oh, cool, I got my Steam games. Oh, and then I can play the Game Pass games. Oh, I can play this stuff on the one thing. But I don't know, man. The battery life and stuff on that is just personally is off-putting to me. But
I have a Rogue Ally. I have the 2023 model, and I don't love it. I've had a lot of problems with it.
But you travel a lot, right? So you use it, and it's for traveling? Or do you play it in your house mostly?
I got it to play retro games on it. I wanted to play I was like, I really want to you know what? I hate the 3DS. It's too small. I have big hands, and I've wanted to play 3DS games. So I'm like, I'm going to legally back them up to play on the console.
I got you legally. That. Yeah, I got you.
I do own them.
Hold on, I was gonna wear this today because you're the pirate. You're the wizard, and I have a pirate hat. So
there we go.
Sail the high seas of.
Now we're breaking the internet.
Yeah, the real fake pirate. Yeah,
yeah. The Rogue needed to come in cheaper. It's not going to. It's going to be a novel thing, and I think it's going to be a blip in the wind, which isn't going to help. Which maybe that's a good thing because that would only further push Xbox into their Game Pass monopolization.
Yeah.
So anything that slows that down, I'm happy.
That'd be interesting to see what happens when that comes out. I don't think it's going to move that many copies unless the price is right. Next question. Waterbear says, for 30, what are your most anticipated movies of the summer out of the big three: Jurassic, Fantastic Four, and James Gunn's Superman? I haven't watched a Jurassic Park since the original 3 that came out. I didn't watch any of the Chris Pratt ones because of when they came out. My son was born and you just can't go to the movies, so I just didn't watch any of them. I'm not interested in Black Widow being in a Jurassic Park movie right now, so I think I'm going to skip the Jurassic Park one. So out of this, I hate Fantastic Four because of Pedro Pascal. I hate the dude. I don't want to see him. He's not Reed Richards, not my Reed Richards, # not my Reed Richards. So I'm more excited for Superman out of these 3, but then I heard some leaks about Superman, and I'm not too excited about Superman if it's true. So take that what you will. What about you, Wizard?
Unfortunately, it's going to be Jurassic World. It's number 1 for me because I just don't care about the other 2. I'll see all 3 of them. And I also want to caveat that by saying I'm not really excited for Jurassic World. It's just I look forward to enjoying that more than the other 2. And I think the other 2 are going to leave me disappointed, which sucks. But Jurassic World, my expectations are extraordinarily tempered. I have none.
See, I've written my own story, right? So when in Endgame, she dies, right? But because they reset everything, she got put into a different realm, and that's her now in the Jurassic Park universe. She wakes up and she's in the Jurassic Park universe now. Yeah, that's the way I'm picturing to make it. Yeah, to make it more interesting on my side, because I'm just like I don't give a shit about it. I don't care.
Yeah, I hope it wins though. I do hope Jurassic Park wins above all of them because it'll send a signal. I think it will too.
Yeah, I think
people like dinosaurs.
Who doesn't like dinosaurs?
Everybody likes dinosaurs.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Transformers earlier. Transformers is jets, robots, spacecrafts, dinosaurs, insects, construction vehicles. Like
and Grimlock's the best.
Like, how the fuck do you fuck that up with Transformers? I don't get it.
The Dinobot movie was shit.
Yeah, I don't understand. It's the best toy in the world. That's not my opinion. That's fact. That's the best toy you could possibly make for children.
How do you fuck up the Dinobots? And they did.
Yeah.
What a mess.
The Netflix show was pretty good for the trilogy they did. Cybertron, the War of Cybertron.
I didn't watch the whole thing. I didn't get through the whole thing. I watched the first few episodes. You don't seem like a Beast Wars fan, so just watch season 1 and 2, and don't watch the Kingdom. Don't watch the third one. You'll be fine. Eventually I will catch up. They're good. Krebsy says, are gamers' expectations being so high contributing to games failing? No. No, you are the buyer. They need to earn 2 things from you. They need to earn your money, but they also need to earn your time. Like, that's something we don't talk about a lot. Like, they need to earn your game time. You're going to spend 8 hours 10 hours, hundreds of hours playing these games. They should earn that. So no, you're the one that needs to have the high expectations. You need to have a very high threshold for what you're willing to stomach. So
See,
yeah,
I knew we would get along because you exactly said what I say all the time. I'm like, you have to respect my time, all right?
Yeah.
Money and time, right? Like, you can't just bloat a game and make it where we have the largest world map ever. It's like, great, but what are you doing in it? Like, is it?
Yeah.
Respect my time. Like, make it some sort of reason for me to play your game, not just because it's Transformers. I'm like, oh, it's Transformers. You gotta love it. No, it's not. That's not how that works, right? You have to make a game, and then sell a game. So I'm glad you said that.
Our time is so limited. Like,
yep,
seriously,
we all
limited.
have the same time. Yeah, we all have the same time. Yeah.
And you're gonna end up wasting it doing ridiculous things in game. Like, yeah, it's just they gotta earn it. They gotta earn your time.
Except Water Bear. Water Bear has a hot tub time machine, and he can transfer back and forth. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but yeah, he's the only person that has more time than everybody else. Altern says, which of the movies will be top seller? Superman, Fantastic Four, Jurassic World? I think we already answered this. We both agreed that Jurassic World would be the top seller. Win. Yeah. And the last question here is that since AI is right, AI, I did want to ask you about AI. Since the AI rising more and more, do you believe that the future of Game Pass / PlayStation Plus will service filled with AI games with no soul?
That's a deep question. There's a lot to it. Not yet. We're not there yet. I think we're like 10 years off for something like that really happening. Mostly because AI is stupid. Like, really, really stupid. AI is not there yet. It's could it be? Sure, but it's when you spend as much time fiddling with AI as someone like me, just because I've used it for work and I need to know what it is for work, it's just not there yet. And it may never be there. There's nothing you can easily see when things are done with AI. It's getting harder and harder to tell, but with copywriting, certainly you could tell. There's very clear indications that it's AI. Like, the naked eye can pick it up when you read enough AI documents. Video is getting better. Making video games, like, you can make video games with the assistance of AI now, but you show that code to any person that knows how to write code, and they're going to say that's AI code.
Yeah,
that's not a real person. A real person didn't write that. And so I think we're still a long time off from AI being as useful as people make believe it is.
We just watched the video today on the show, this morning's show, from I don't know if you've ever heard of the content creator. His name is Chiseled and Donis. Okay, he was talking about AI. It's about a 20-minute long video, but he shows some of the AI content creators that are being created, like the vlogger type of stuff, or the news anchors out reporting on stuff. And let me tell you, man, if they didn't say themselves, like the AI on the screen said, "I'm not real," you would not be able to tell that it was a fake news report. Yeah, it's this is the worst it's going to be, right? This is the worst it's going to be at this point right now. It is pretty uncanny. Then there was content creators reviewing food. Obviously, the food's fake, and they're fake, so they're giving and I'm like, what is happening, right? It's going to be scary because obviously I worked in the film industry. I can tell when certain things are real or fake, but I also don't trust everything because I understand what's done. It's getting uncanny, like the way it looks.
So playing on this question, focusing more on video games. There's still I think we're long ways off. I think for commercials, I think for marketing, I think for news, I think for things that our corporations would love to outsource to AI. That's where AI is going to thrive, and it's not there yet. We got another 2-ish years before they start doing that.
I mean,
but some maybe 10.
Yeah, I agree with you with the video games. It's going to take a bit longer. Movies, television commercials are already there. They're already doing commercials with AI, total 100% AI.
Yes.
The short films are already starting, and they're pretty damn good. Now, feature film is going to take a little longer, only because the computing processing that it takes to make these short things, they only do in like 8 seconds or 16 second,
at a clip.
Yeah. So obviously it's faster than taking a whole crew and filming something, but at the same time, I make AI music, right? I play it before the show every morning, and they're pretty good. But to get the good track, I got to make a lot of tracks before that to get the good one to come out. So when you're doing that with video and you're doing that with actual production like that, it's going to take a lot of it takes a lot of stuff, which you're saving, but you're also not saving. What would take you 6 weeks is now taking you maybe 6 hours. You know what I mean? But it's still, you have to sit there time. You have to sit there and go through that stuff and see what's right or what's wrong. But
see, I'm excited for that.
Are you? No, I was going to say because of the shorts. I can see like stuff. You see the Sasquatch or the Jesus vlog that's happening, or the Stormtrooper ones. Those are fucking great. I mean, that content right there is perfect for the shorts and TikTok and all that stuff. But going further than that, I don't know, man. Because again, time is time, and people don't want to watch a 45-minute video if they can watch a 45-second video.
So let me give you the position that I'm coming from when I say I'm excited for that is I want the Hollywood industry to collapse. I want the advertising commercial space to collapse. I want it to be course corrected. And here's why. So living in New York City, I have a lot of friends who are award-winning directors that have done short films and they've done all this stuff over the last, let's say 10 years or so. And you probably will know where I'm going with this, but over the last 10 years or so, it has gotten disgustingly expensive to make anything.
Yeah.
Anything at all. If you want to shoot anything, it's going to cost you a fortune. And let's say you're an aspiring creative and you've written a script and it's within your own means and it's not going to be that bad. And let's say you pull together, 10 grand of your own money. You save up and you pull together 10 grand to do it. That's not even scratching the surface now to get professionals to help you. So now you're going to have to go and find outside funding. Okay, well, for you to go outside funding, it's the same problem that we had with the games industry. You got to sell your soul. And I kind of came face to face with that myself in 2023. I wrote my own screenplay, which was like a small horror thing. It was like an anthology, very short. It would have been a short film. And what originally in like 2020 I could have done for legitimately $10,000, I'm now telling, having meetings with people, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you're going to need at least $300,000 for this." I'm like, I want you to all lose your jobs, and I want the industry to collapse on top of itself. And the only way that happens is if there's more competition. So for there to be 16-year-old kids to be able to make interesting and exciting videos on their own, it's like, the attention spans of human beings is becoming that of a flea, but it's going to bankrupt Hollywood.
Yeah. No, so back in the day, early 2000s, to make a film, you would have to find I'm sure it was earlier than that for other people, but for me, it was early 2000s. If I wanted to make a film, I would buy a 16 millimeter camera. Okay. And or 8 millimeter camera actually, and put 16 millimeter film inside there, so we could film on one half of the thing, and then you would flip it, and you could film on the other half, and you get double your footage off the actual film. Okay, then you slice it down the middle, and put it together, and that's the way we used to do it. Then it came to where the camcorders started becoming better. And you had the Canon, I forget what, XL1, I think it was, and that was like a $3,000-$4,000 camera, which was mind blowing back then because cameras were $50,000 to $100,000, and that's before lenses. That's just to rent, not buy, rent those types of cameras. And now you could buy a camera for like less than $5,000, and you could start making your own films on the little cassettes.
Yep.
Then it went into the Nikon cameras and the Canon cameras where people were doing it, and now people are making feature films with this, right? So when a company tells you that it's going to cost $300,000 to make a film, that's because they're taking 95% of that and putting it in their fucking pocket, right? Because they're doing shit. They just want to sucker people like, oh yeah, you could make movies and scripts and get a nice crew together for, I would say, the $30,000, $40,000, all depending if you're making a short film or whatnot. But the corporate world, man, they try to gouge us. So what used to take, if I was on a feature film, the feature film would take anywhere between 25 days to, let's say, 42 days to do a feature film, all depending if it was a major film or if it was like going straight to video or whatnot. now, because of the streaming services, they want that done in like 3 weeks, 5 weeks total. And that's not for one movie. That's for like a complete series that they're going to put on a streaming service. And they want me to get less pay because, I'm working more consecutive days. So I'm getting more out, even though back in the day I used to get paid certain price for music videos, certain price for commercials, certain price, right. That's all out the fucking window now. Now it's just like it's like the Wild West and how much they can get out of people. And now they're competing with this, AI stuff. And just like you, I'm more bitter because I was in that industry and I saw how it was going. And I too want these corporations and studios to go on fire. I want more people to be like Eric July, where they come up with their own studio and make their product and make their shows and make their cartoons or whatever. And they don't even need the big guys anymore because there's places like YouTube, because there's places like, where you can put your movies and distribute your own stuff without going through the big, studios and stuff.
There's a lot of, and I don't have all the answers to it. There's a lot of like real concerns people have with AI and, oh my gosh, it's taking jobs. And it's like, well, I hear those arguments, but at the same time, I'm also going to say, I don't think AI is there yet where it really is taking all those jobs. I think people are just butthurt at change most of the time. Like that's really what it comes down to. Because I'm one of the people that like it would be coming for my job, but you know what else it's coming for? Lawyers. You don't need a lawyer as much now because you can have it draft all those contracts. So if you're a contract lawyer, your job's in jeopardy. If you're somebody like me who does marketing, well, some of those strategies are out on the internet. Are you going to still need a human touch in the same way you're still going to want a human touch to go through your legal contracts? Sure. But that's the thing. That's the end of it, though. Yeah, you could do all this art, but it's still going to be better if you have real people because they're going to be able to catch things and do things that AI cannot do. So I think that there's a lot to it, and there's bigger discussions there. But I just think of how many kids, like when I was in high school, and I'm sitting there, outlining stories or shit I was doing when I was in college. Like I didn't take college seriously either. I was just outlining stories and things in college, mostly just for fun. And it's like, wait a second, now I have the tools to make that a reality like this.
Right.
That's going to change the world. I mean, I said it before. People want stories. People want to be emotionally connected to characters. We are now going to be able to put that ability in the hands of kids at their most creative time of their life, at the most creative time of their lives. You only get less creative as the corporate world and the work world sucks the soul out of you. Like you only become less creative the older you get. So you're giving children the ability to tell stories that will resonate with all ages. And I think that is something to be excited about. And I just hope, it's the childlike hope in me that it's not hijacked. That's all I hope for. I hope for the best. We wish them well. That's all.
All right. Look, it's been 2 hours and almost 2.5 hours that we've been live. I'm going to plug you here. I'm going to put your YouTube channel up on the screen. The real life fake wizard. Make sure you guys go check out his channel. He's got really good stuff. Look, see, I've been watching your stuff. This is my second channel that I watch stuff. But yeah, I check out your stuff quite more frequently now that I found you. I think it was about 2 months ago when we first reacted to you. I like your content, man. I like your style. There's other people Greg Owen. I don't know if you know Greg Owen. He's another guest that was on the show. He makes really good content. Talks about movies, talks about writing, talks about stuff like that. And we have Kingard, who was in the chat earlier. He also does a really good. His editing style is just spot on, and I like your editing style as well. I like focus on. I don't know how I find you guys, but he comes across my feed. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna check him out. So thank God you're wearing a beard because otherwise I wouldn't have clicked on your video. The wizard really sold me. So
it helps.
Check out the Real Fake Wizard over on YouTube, and then you can also check him out over on Twitter at the Fake Wizard or Real Life Fake Wiz over on Twitter. Man, I appreciate you very much for coming out and hanging out with us, giving me time. I put this out to a lot of people. Anytime you want to come back and bullshit with me, you're more than welcome to come back. So I appreciate you very much for giving me your time and sharing your stories and just bullshitting with me for the last 2.5 hours. Appreciate you.
Happy to be here, man. This has been really fun. We'll do it again.
All right, chat. I appreciate it very much. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you'd like to go above and beyond that. Become a member as little as $5. And then, yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning for the daily grind at 10 o'clock in the morning. And then tomorrow night for Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. You guys have a great one. See you on the next one. Peace.